Chapter 530, Task Assignment 1 Divine Realm, 100,000 Mountains. Xiao Changtian cursed silently in his heart. He then turned to Taoist Big Sun and Dtian and slowly spoke. If there's no problem with this address of yours, then the next step is to build the main hall. Do you have any ideas? He had no choice. For the sake of his invincible path, he had to endure it. When yours truly became invincible, he would definitely throw this stupid system aside. As for Taoist De Yang and Dtian, they exchanged glances when they heard Xiao Changshan's words. Seeing Taoist De Yang and Dtian exchanging glances, Xiao Changtian also understood. All of them are the same. All of them are the same. All of them are the same. Dtian was a young man who had just entered the sect not long ago. He was filled with passion and wanted to do something. In reality, the skills and knowledge he possessed were still far from enough. As for the Great Sun Immortal, he was also a formidable expert in the cultivation world. Without a doubt, the establishment of a sect would definitely be handed over to his subordinates. It seemed that he still had to rely on himself to build the main hall. As he thought of this in his heart, Xiao Changtian slowly spoke to Taoist De Yang and Dtian. How about this, perfected Great Sun? See if you can construct a teleportation array to connect this place to Great Sun Town. At this moment, Xiao Changtian recalled the time when he was repairing his courtyard in Dayang Town. There were still some bricks and mud left in the courtyard. That was something that he had worked so hard to make. He could not waste it. The Great Sun Immortal also looked troubled when he heard Xiao Changshan's words. This 100,000 mountains was very far away from Dayang Town, and this senior had asked him to construct a teleportation array. How could he do that? He couldn't say that he knew a little about spatial power. He simply didn't know anything about it. As for Dtian, when he saw the troubled look on Taoist De Yang's face, he also slowly spoke to Xiao Changtian. Senior, leave the construction of the teleportation formation to me. When Xiao Changtian heard Dtian's words, he also cast a glance at him. After that, he turned to look at Taoist De Yang. This Dtian, a cultivator who had just entered the sect, would have no problem building a teleportation array. After sensing Xiao Changshan's gaze, the Great Sun Immortal nodded slowly. After seeing Taoist De Yang nodding his head, Xiao Changtian slowly spoke to Dtian. In that case, I'll leave it to you, Dtian. Since Taoist De Yang felt that there was no problem with Dtian, then there shouldn't be any problem. After all, the Great Sun True Man was a powerful cultivator. Then, Xiao Changtian continued to speak to the Great Sun Immortal. In that case, Taoist Big Sun, help me find a few construction workers who can work hard. Use more strength. At this moment, Xiao Changtian also reminded the Great Sun Immortal. Xiao Changtian had also seen the system's request when he was checking the system's mission. The main hall could not be built casually. It had to be sturdy enough to pass through. After hearing Xiao Changshan's words, the Great Sun Immortal also said to Xiao Changtian slowly, Senior, I wonder who can reach your standards. Xiao Changtian also glanced at him when he heard the words of the Great Sun Immortal. Shouldn't this immortal Dayang be clearer than him in this aspect? As an immortal cultivator, it was probably impossible for him to tell how strong and energetic a person was. However, since the Great Sun Immortal asked, Xiao Changtian slowly took out the 9 heavens rake from his ring. It's enough to work all day with this. The moment Xiao Changtian took out the rake, Dtian and Taoist De Yang both sucked in a breath of cold air. When the 9 heavens rake came out just now, they clearly felt the spiritual power of heaven and earth tremble. Moreover, the aura emitted by the 9 heavens rake made them feel that their lives were in danger. The rake that Senior took out was probably a high-grade immortal artifact. At this time, Xiao Changtian also said to the Great Sun Immortal slowly, Taoist Big Sun, is there a problem? When the Great Sun Immortal heard Xiao Changshan's words, he shook his head at him. He had just failed to complete the teleportation array mission. If this didn't work, the seniors might not even put him in an important position. Although it would be difficult to find him, the immortal De Yang believed that he would have a chance to find him. Xiao Changtian heard the words of the Great Sun and said slowly to the two of them, Then let's do it this way. Let's hurry up and finish building the main hall as soon as possible. After that, Xiao Changtian also walked towards the deserted island. He was also going to make ceramic tiles or something. There was no other way. The system required the tiles he made to meet the standard. This lousy system just didn't want him to live a good life for a few days. After Daoist Daong and Di Tian heard Xiao Changshan's words, he immediately left the 100,000 mountains and began to get busy. At the same time, in heavens beyond, the spirit race at this moment, a few mountains within the spiritual race were ablaze. A man dressed in dark red stood in the air above the spiritual race. The man looked at the fleeing members of the spiritual race and revealed a devilish smile. Lung Xiaoxiao actually left the spiritual race at this time of the sacred war. It's obvious that she has given up on you. How pitiful. Why don't we give you a chance to become slaves of our ancient fire tribe? The man laughed loudly in the air after he finished speaking. At this moment, the members of the spiritual race below shouted at the man in the sky. Qinyang, don't get carried away. When the clan leader returns, you will definitely be in trouble. Chen Yang's smile grew wider when he heard the voices of the spiritual race members below. Then where is your clan leader now? Ha ha ha. Not long after Lung Xiaoxiao left the Ling clan, Chen Yang received the news. Under the push of all parties, Chen Yang led the ancient fire tribe to attack the spiritual race. He wanted to catch the spiritual race off guard. At this moment, an icy cold voice was slowly transmitted from the outside world. Chen Yang, the time for the sacred war hasn't come yet. You attacked my spiritual race. Have you ever thought of staying here forever? Hearing this cold and angry voice, Chen Yang also looked towards the void in front of him. Lung Xiaoxiao, you're here. You're quite arrogant. This sacred war was initiated by our ancient fire tribe. What's wrong with starting it early? As he spoke, a burst of spiritual energy was released from Chen Yang's body. Bang! Then a powerful pressure came from Chen Yang's body, suppressing everyone. You have to know that I have broken through to the golden immortal realm. Chapter 531. Holy War of the Spirit Race 1. Heavens Beyond. Spirit Race. The pressure of a golden immortal on Chen Yang's body slowly rippled between heaven and earth. Then, everyone present felt as if there was a huge rock on their chest. He was a little suffocated by the pressure. Lung Xiaoxiao looked at Chen Yang and sneered. Then a similarly powerful aura burst out from his body. Bang! Lung Xiaoxiao's unique golden immortal pressure was also slowly released. For a moment, the pressure that the morning sun gave to everyone present was slowly offset. The spiritual race cultivators looked at Lung Xiaoxiao and cheered. The patriarch has also broken through. Chen Yang gritted his teeth when he heard the cheers from the spiritual race below. Previously, he and Lung Xiaoxiao were both in the perfected immortal realm, and their strength was also comparable. However, in recent years, he had broken through to the golden immortal realm and stabilized his cultivation. Chen Yang also wanted to strike first before Lung Xiaoxiao had a breakthrough. He would defeat the entire spiritual race and end the war between the two races. He did not expect Lung Xiaoxiao to have a breakthrough at this time. No wonder you left the spiritual race at this time. You went to break through. Chen Yang looked at Lung Xiaoxiao and said slowly. He finally understood why Lung Xiaoxiao had left the spiritual race at this time. If he broke through in the spiritual race, then with his spies in the spiritual race, he would know very quickly. With this thought in mind, Chen Yang's figure also took the lead to move. He charged towards Lung Xiaoxiao. It seems that I have just broken through. Let me see how much power a golden immortal like you can unleash. Having failed to act tough just now, Chen Yang was also unhappy. He had thought that everyone present would be terrified when he released his golden immortal cultivation base. There was also Lung Xiaoxiao, who had a cold expression. He had thought that he would give her a huge shock this time, but he did not expect that he would still fail. Lung Xiaoxiao saw Chen Yang coming at her, and also threw a palm at him. He fought against Chen Yang. Bang! The two palms collided, and Lung Xiaoxiao and Chen Yang both retreated. However, it seemed that there was no change in his clothes. Lung Xiaoxiao's long hair, which was originally tied up, had indeed spread out. From this clash, everyone present could tell. In this clash, Lung Xiaoxiao was at a disadvantage. At this moment, the ancient fire tribe cultivators looked at the morning sun in the sky and began to cheer. Patriarch is mighty. The spiritual race cultivators looked at each other when they heard the ancient fire race cultivator's shouts. Looking at Lung Xiaoxiao, who was in the air, his expression was a little worried. At this moment, Chunyang also took out a fire gourd from his pocket. The fire gourd appeared in Chunyang's hand, and the temperature between heaven and earth rose a little. Flame dragon kill. Chunyang held the fire gourd and shouted. Then a fiery red light flashed in the morning sun. Waves of high-temperature flames burst out from the fire gourd in Chunyang's hand. Whoosh! 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 The flames circled around Chunyang's body, and finally condensed into the shape of a fire dragon. Roar! 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 Then, the fire dragon roared and attacked Lung Xiaoxiao. Lung Xiaoxiao looked at the incoming fire dragon, and did not show any signs of weakness. True essence similarly surged in her hands, and waves of true intent of ice appeared from her hands. I seal 10,000 miles. Roar! 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 A similar roar was heard, but a silver dragon was circling around Lung Xiaoxiao. As soon as the ice dragon appeared, it also banged its fangs and brandished its claws as it collided with the fire dragon. Bang! When the fire dragon and ice dragon collided, a powerful wave of air was released. Then, Lung Xiaoxiao and Chunyang flew out. A trace of blood flowed out of Lung Xiaoxiao's mouth. Lung Xiaoxiao, so what if you broke through to Golden Immortal with the gourd? At this moment, a voice slowly entered Lung Xiaoxiao's ears. Sister, use this. Then, Lung Xiaoxiao saw Lung Mei throw a wine bottle at her. Wasn't this the bottle that Senior used to store medicinal wine? Could it also be a celestial artifact? Lung Xiaoxiao looked at the wine bottle in her hand, and tried to inject her true essence into it. Then, Lung Xiaoxiao felt the wine bottle in her hand shake. Bang! A clear stream of water flew out from the bottle. The clear stream turned into a drizzle in the air and fell down. Then, the flames released by the ancient fire tribe slowly extinguished where the clear stream landed. He watched as the flames on several mountain peaks of the spiritual race were extinguished. At this moment, Chunyang's figure also moved. He floated in the air and said to Xiao Changtian, Lung Xiaoxiao, I didn't expect you to hide it so well. There's still such a celestial artifact in my hands. As he said that, Chunyang controlled the burning sky gourd. Heaven burning wrath. Chunyang's hand gestures changed as he shouted. Following that, the burning sky gourd also emitted bursts of flames. Chunyang's actions seemed to have angered bottle of wine. In Lung Xiaoxiao's hand, the wine bottle took the initiative to absorb Lung Xiaoxiao's vital essence. It turned into an even larger clear stream in the air. Then, the clear stream changed and slowly transformed into the figure of the black tortoise. Your flames are too inferior compared to the old hens. The black tortoise's majestic voice came out of nowhere. Then, the burning sky gourd seemed to sense danger, and retracted the flames it had released. His figure also quickly flew away from Chunyang's palm. Seeing the burning sky gourd take the initiative to leave him, Chunyang was also a little dumbfounded. A palm print appeared on his palm, and he slowly said to the direction where the burning sky gourd had left, Come back here. The burning sky gourd was a precious treasure of their clan. It had protected them for tens of thousands of years. How could it leave on its own? At this moment, Chunyang looked at Lung Xiaoxiao with fear in his eyes. The fact that the gourd could escape meant that the wine bottle in Lung Xiaoxiao's hand was more than one level higher than the gourd. Lung Xiaoxiao was also stunned when she saw the burning sky gourd leave Qinyang City. He didn't expect Xiao Changtian to be so intimidating to Jiang Jiuzi. It seemed that Senior had already calculated for this to happen, since he would give little sister the medicinal wine. With that thought in mind, Lung Xiaoxiao also looked at Qinyang. Chunyang felt Lung Xiaoxiao's gaze and said to her timidly, Lung Xiaoxiao, if you have a book, then fight with your own abilities. What kind of ability is using a celestial artifact? You can use celestial artifacts too. Do you have one? At this moment, Lung Mei was also mocking Chunyang from the side. Chapter 532. Picking up a nine-toothed rake. 1. Heavens Beyond. Spirit race. After Chunyang heard Lung Mei's words, he also almost spat out a mouthful of blood. Why was this little girl's mouth so vicious? Then, he turned into a stream of light and ran out. Qinyang escaped. The spiritual race cultivators said excitedly when they saw Chunyang fleeing. Before this, Chunyang had been showing off in front of the spirit race. The spiritual race cultivators were delighted to see Chunyang fleeing in a sorry state. When the ancient fire tribe cultivators saw their tribe leader run away, they were shocked. Without much hesitation, he walked towards the exit of the spiritual race. Lung Xiaoxiao looked at the direction where Chunyang had left and snorted coldly. She pointed at the direction where he had left. Instantly, an extremely fine ice needle slowly appeared in his hand. Whoosh! The ice needles pierced through layers of void space and attacked Chunyang. Aha! The ice needle pierced through Chunyang's arm, and Chunyang screamed in the air. Lung Xiaoxiao, I will take revenge for today and the future. Lung Xiaoxiao looked at the direction where Chunyang had left. Her gaze was cold, but she did not chase after him. Just now, Chunyang had paid the price of losing his arm to save his own life. Now Lung Xiaoxiao couldn't find him either. After all, if a golden immortal were to escape with all his might, it would not be easy for him to stop him. After Chunyang escaped, Lung Xiaoxiao glanced at the spiritual race below. He slowly said, Cultivators of the spiritual race, return to your respective peaks and strengthen the defenses of the spiritual race. As Lung Xiaoxiao finished speaking, the spiritual race cultivators began to organize themselves and return to their own mountain peaks. A void in the human realm upon heaven's bang. At this moment the entire void trembled. Then a wormhole slowly appeared in this space. A figure slowly walked out of the wormhole. It was Chunyang, who had escaped from the spiritual race. At this moment, Chunyang's left shoulder was already covered in blood. He looked at the slowly closing wormhole behind him. He could not help but spit out a mouthful of blood. Lung Xiaoxiao, what kind of fortuitous encounter did she obtain this time? There was actually such a powerful immortal artifact. With this thought in mind, Chunyang slowly said to the ancient fire tribe members behind him, Qi Yan, did you find anything out where Lung Xiaoxiao went? After discovering that Lung Xiaoxiao had left the spiritual race, Chunyang sent someone to investigate. As Chunyang finished speaking, a man with dyed red hair came to his side. After slowly bowing to Chunyang, Crimson Flame also said slowly to Chunyang, reporting to the clan leader, we still haven't found out where Lung Xiaoxiao went. However, I did capture a cultivator from the lower realm, who claimed to know the information that the patriarch wanted. Oh, who is it? Hurry up and bring it up. At this time, Chunyang also said angrily to Crimson Flame in front of him. Hearing Chunyang's words, Qi Yan also waved to the cultivators behind him. Then, a man was brought to Chunyang by a few ancient fire tribe cultivators. Seeing the man's appearance, Chunyang also slowly said to him, Lower realm cultivators? After Chunyang finished speaking, the man slowly said to Chunyang, Reporting to my lord as a divine eye, I came from the lower realm's heavenly gate. That's right, the person brought by Crimson Flame was the divine eye. After the divine eye separated from Lung Mei, it observed that the situation was not right, and also wanted to hurry back to the divine gate. He didn't expect to meet Qi Yan, who had just come to investigate Lung Xiaoxiao. He was grabbed by Crimson Flame, and they started a conversation. The divine eye also knew that Chunyang wanted to deal with Lung Xiaoxiao and the others. After feeling that Lung Mei did not value him, the divine eye also had a new idea. Lower realm, Qi Yan, you said he knew where Lung Xiaoxiao went. Isn't this a joke? Take him down and chop him up. As he spoke, Chunyang waved his hand at the surrounding cultivators. Having just escaped from the spirit race, Chunyang was in a bad mood. When he saw the divine eye, he was immediately vexed. When the divine eye heard Chunyang's words, it also slowly said to Chunyang, My lord, Lung Mei and Lung Xiaoxiao were brought to the divine realm by me. Their strength was also obtained there. Chunyang glanced at her when she heard the divine eye's words. Then tell me, what kind of place is the divine realm? I won't hide it from you, my lord. There's a divine white tiger, and a true immortal there. As he spoke, the eyes of the divine eye shone brightly. Following that, the image of Lung Mei entering the 100,000 mountains slowly appeared in front of Chunyang. Chunyang looked at the scene created by the divine eye, and waved his hand at the surrounding cultivators. The cultivators who were holding the divine eye let go of his arm. At this moment, Chen Yang also said slowly to the divine eye, "Tell me the details, and I'll allow you to join my ancient fire tribe." Hearing Chen Yang's words, the divine eye's eyes lit up. Then, she told Chen Yang everything she knew. After hearing the divine eye's words, Chen Yang also slowly said to him, "Are you saying that Leng Xiaoxiao might have received a gift from the white tiger, which is why she has become so powerful? That's really a bit troublesome." Seeing Chen Yang's worried face, the divine eye also slowly said to Chen Yang, "My lord, I can make you gain the favor of the white tiger with one technique, but..." At this point, the divine eye hesitated. Seeing the god eye's hesitation, Chen Yang said to him slowly, "What's wrong? If you have any questions, just say it directly. We might need some resources from you. I think that white tiger will help Leng Xiaoxiao." Leng Xiaoxiao must have given him a lot of cultivation resources. Chen Yang nodded when he heard the divine eye's words. Then, he gritted his teeth and took off the ring on his finger. He said slowly to the divine eye, "Take this ring first. It's up to you to move the white tiger. If you succeed, you'll be the greatest contributor to our spiritual race." As he spoke, Chen Yang patted God Eye's shoulder. It was as if he had seen the hope of revenge. The divine eye took the ring from Chen Yang and bowed slightly to him. Then, Chen Yang also said slowly to Crimson Flame beside him, "Crimson Flame, go with divine eye. I'll wait for your return in the clan." Crimson Flame heard Chen Yang's words and nodded at him. Then Crimson Flame also took the divine eye and flew towards the direction of the divine world. At the same time, in the divine world, the great sun immortal stood on his fiery red carpet and circled around the divine realm. These few days, he had been looking for cultivators who could move the 9 heavens rake in the divine world. However, he couldn't find any of them. Even the elders of the sects looked at him in fear when they saw the 9 heavens rake. If this went on, when would he be able to complete the task given to him by his senior? Chapter 533. Teleportation Formation, Success 1. Divine Realm. 100,000 Mountain Xiaochangtian was sitting on a stone chair on the deserted island. He looked at the bricks in front of him and was very satisfied. These days, he had been working day and night to make bricks according to the system's requirements. With these bricks, there shouldn't be any problems with the bricks used in the main hall. At this moment, Di Tian also slowly walked to Xiao Changshan's side. He slowly spoke, "Senior, I've already found someone to construct that teleportation formation. How about you go over and take a look?" When Xiao Changtian heard Di Tian's words, his face lit up with joy. Di Tian was quite efficient. It had only been a few days, yet he had already constructed the teleportation array. As expected, after becoming an immortal cultivator, money came very quickly. After all, Xiao Changtian didn't think that a cultivator like Di Tian, who had just entered the sect, would be able to construct a teleportation array. He must have paid someone to do it. After that, under Di Tian's lead, Xiao Changtian slowly arrived at the shore of the island. In front of Xiao Changtian, there were a few stone pillars. Between the stone pillars, there were a few complicated patterns slowly floating on the ground. There were also a few faint purple flowers on the lines. This was something that Di Tian and the 10 generals of the Divine Court had worked hard to construct over the past few days. After Di Tian told Xiao Changtian that he had found the new location of the Divine Court and wanted to build a teleportation array, he had to go to the Divine Court. Everyone was in high spirits. With this teleportation array, the Divine Court in Great Sun Town could go back and forth in an instant. This meant that their Divine Court and Senior would be one in the future. After witnessing Xiao Changshan's strength and the help he had given to the Divine Court recently, they were shocked. If Xiao Changtian became their god lord, no one would have any objections. Fortunately, the island had sufficient resources to support such long-distance teleportation. Xiao Changtian looked at the teleportation formation in front of him and walked to the center of the formation curiously. This was the first time he had seen a teleportation array so close in the cultivation world. The last time he was at the Li Fire sect, although he knew that it was a teleportation array. However, he did not have the time to look at it carefully. And at this moment, Di Tian also came to Xiao Changshan's side. He took out a purple token from his interspatial ring and said to Xiao Changtian, Senior, with this, we can use the teleportation formation to go to Daong Town. Upon hearing Di Tian's words, Xiao Changtian slowly took the purple token from his hands. Then he slowly raised the token, and the token emitted a white light. With a swooshing sound, Xiao Changtian discovered that he and Di Tian had already arrived at the entrance of the courtyard of Great Sun Town. Looking at the courtyard in front of him, Xiao Changtian slowly walked in. As expected of a teleportation array, he returned so quickly. This speed was more than 10 times faster than taking a plane in his previous life. After entering the courtyard, Xiao Changtian slowly walked towards his storeroom. Last time, he had also placed the leftover concrete in the storeroom. Found it. Then, Xiao Changtian slowly put the concrete into his interspatial ring. Walking out of the storeroom, Mu Jiahuang saw Xiao Changtian and said slowly, Master, you're back. Seeing Mu Jiahuang, Xiao Changtian said to her slowly, Jiao, I might be a little busy recently. I'll have to trouble you to take care of the family. Right, if you need anything, just use this token to find me through the teleportation array. As he spoke, Xiao Changtian also passed the purple token Di Tian gave him to Mu Jiahuang. Di Tian should have quite a few of these tokens. He would just ask him for another one later. As for Mu Jiahuang, Xiao Changtian had no intention of bringing her to the deserted island. After all, there was nothing on the deserted island. Jiao was a weak woman. She was even afraid of turtles. If she followed him to a deserted island, wouldn't she be looking for trouble? Then, Xiao Changtian slowly walked into the backyard. Looking at the white tiger that was still sleeping on the ground, he picked it up from the ground. I'll bring you along this time. Squeak, squeak, squeak. At this moment, Xiao Changtian heard a series of squeaking sounds. Seeing the divine monkey on the roof, Xiao Changtian smiled at him. Let's go together. Xiao Changtian brought the white tiger and the divine monkey along as he slowly spoke to Di Tian. Di Tian, we've got the concrete. Let's go back and continue. When Di Tian heard Xiao Changshan's words, he also nodded his head. Xiao Changtian was talking about concrete, so what was he? He had personally experienced it when Xiao Changtian was building the courtyard. That was an impeccable immortal artifact. Senior. Di Tian felt that he had a belly full of words to say, but he didn't know how he should speak to Xiao Changtian. Di Tian, hurry up and leave. At this moment, Xiao Changtian also urged Di Tian. Oh, all right. Di Tian saw that Xiao Changtian had already walked out of the courtyard. He smiled and immediately followed. Whoosh. Di Tian and Xiao Changtian slowly returned to the deserted island. You guys go play by yourselves. Xiao Changtian slowly placed the white tiger on the ground. The divine monkey and the white tiger looked at each other as they looked at the deserted island. Then they ran to the side. At the same time, outside the divine realm, the divine eye slowly appeared in the air with crimson flame. Lord Crimson Flame, in front of us is the divine world that I mentioned. The white tiger is in this area. Crimson Flame looked at the divine realm in front of him and said slowly to the divine eye. If Chen Yang had not told him to follow the divine eye to find the white tiger, he would have slapped the divine eye long ago. This divine world was clearly a barren land that lacked luck, all right? When the divine eye heard Crimson Flame's words, it also nodded at him. My lord, follow me. Crimson Flame looked at the divine eye in front of him and turned into a stream of light, flying toward the divine realm. If this divine eye were to be discovered to have deceived him, he would definitely tear him into pieces. Soon, the divine eye and Crimson Flame slowly landed in front of the 100,000 mountains. Looking at the 100,000 mountains in front of him, Crimson Flame's eyes flashed with a trace of surprise. Just like when Lung Mei had just arrived, he actually discovered that his holy sense was blocked by the white fog. There might really be a white tiger in this mountain. With this thought in mind, Crimson Flame slowly said to the divine eye, lead the way. When the divine eye heard Qi Yan's words, he was also stunned. Before this he had never been to the 100,000 mountains. He didn't expect Crimson Flame to ask him to lead the way this time. After the divine eye was stunned for a moment, it also slowly said to Crimson Flame, Lord Feng, please follow me to my place. Although he didn't want to enter the 100,000 mountains, Xiao Changtian gave him a strange feeling. However, if he did not lead the way now, he would probably be in trouble. Therefore, the divine eye also made an inviting gesture to Crimson Flame and led him into the 100,000 mountains. Chapter 534. Why was she the one who was injured? 1U. TED by BXN0VL. Siomicron Divine Realm. 100,000 mountains. The divine eye brought Crimson Flame along as they walked in the valley. Crimson Flame looked at the cliffs on both sides of the mountain path, his eyes narrowing slightly. There were actually no ferocious beasts in such a place. At this time, Crimson Flame's eyes also focused. His palm was covered in flames as he slapped his surroundings. Then with a bang, a brown python fell down around the mountain wall. The divine eye saw the dying black python on the ground and looked at Crimson Flame gratefully. When the black python appeared, he did not sense it. It seemed that the 100,000 mountains was still filled with danger. At this moment, Xiao Changtian, who was on the deserted island, also heard a loud noise. Then, he looked in the direction of the mountain. At this time, Grandson also came to Xiao Changshan's side and said slowly to Xiao Changtian, "Senior, is there a problem?" Xiao Changtian heard the words of the great sun immortal and slowly said to him, "Taoist big sun, can I trouble you to help me take a look over there? Xiao Bai and the others should be there." Xiao Changtian wasn't worried about anyone coming in. After all, this was a poor village, and no one would take a fancy to it. On the other hand, when Little White went out to play, there were still many ferocious beasts in the mountains. If they were caught by some ferocious beast and used as food, then wouldn't his path to invincibility be ruined? When the great sun immortal heard Xiao Changshan's words, he nodded at Xiao Changtian. Then, he turned into a stream of light and flew toward the valley ahead. Whoosh! The figure of the great sun immortal slowly landed in front of Qi Yin and the divine eye. Seeing these two people, the great sun immortal shouted at them, "Stop, who are you two?" Qi Yin heard the voice of the great sun immortal and looked up at the sky above him. After glancing at the great sun immortal, he also looked at the great sun immortal disdainfully. This fellow's cultivation base was unknown. She still wanted to question him. Wasn't this courting death? Then, a huge flaming palm appeared out of thin air and attacked Taoist Big Sunday. When the great sun immortal saw that Qi Yin didn't say anything, he wanted to make a move on him. He was also prepared to take out the Nanming primordial fire painting from his pocket. At this moment, a voice slowly sounded between heaven and earth. "If you want to fight, let me do it." As soon as he finished speaking, a figure slowly flew past the sky above the great sun immortal. Bang! A huge white tiger slowly landed in the valley. Roar! 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 The white tiger landed on the ground and let out waves of roars. For a moment, the two valleys on both sides were filled with the sounds of Sisi and Shui. Those beasts that wanted to find the black python had no intention of coming here. After seeing the white tiger, he quickly ran back to his nest. To them, this place was no ordinary danger. Crimson Flame saw the white tiger in front of him, and his eyes were burning. He gestured to the divine eye, and then the divine eye slowly presented the interspatial ring to the white tiger. "Senior White Tiger, we're not here to fight you. This is a gift from our clan leader to Senior White Tiger. We don't have any other intentions. We just want to be friends with Senior White Tiger. Senior White Tiger, please accept this." When the white tiger heard the divine eye's words, it also glanced at him. Then, he lazily raised his claw and threw the interspatial ring that the divine eye handed over to the great sun immortal. When the great sun immortal saw the interspatial ring that white tiger had thrown to him, he slowly put it away. "Senior White Tiger?" When White Tiger heard the words of the great sun immortal, he also said slowly to Crimson Flame and divine eye in front of him, "I recognize this person. You wanted to harm Master before. Since you've delivered yourself to my door today, don't leave." As he spoke, the white tiger also slapped its claws at the divine eye and Crimson Flame. For a moment, Crimson Flame and divine eye were caught in the white tiger's palm. Being caught in the palm of the white tiger, Qi Yin was also a little dumbfounded. Just a moment ago, he thought that he could accomplish a great merit. He went back to the clan to find Chen Yang to receive his credit. It had only been a short while, and he was already caught in the hands of others. At this time, Crimson Flame also shouted angrily at the Divine Eye. Divine Eye, what did you do just now? Crimson Flame suddenly felt like he had been tricked by the Divine Eye. Sir, when I brought Lung Xiao and the others here, we were discovered. At this moment, the Divine Eye could only make things up. He could not say that he had wanted to attack the White Tiger alone. When Crimson Flame heard the Divine Eye's words, he looked at him and didn't know what to say. Then, he said slowly to the White Tiger, Senior White Tiger, please show mercy. I didn't know that this Divine Eye had offended you before. How about this? If you let me go, I'll give you more resources. When he spoke, Crimson Flame also had a pleading tone. White Tiger glanced at Crimson Flame in his hand. Those resources just now were too trashy. As he spoke, the strength in White Tiger's hand also increased a little. At this moment, Crimson Flame's face turned red. Senior White Tiger, there are even better ones in the clan. Senior, don't kill me. When White Tiger heard Crimson Flame's words, he also looked at him with interest. Then, the demon beast slowly said to the Great Sun Immortal, Daoist Big Sun, what did Master say? When the Great Sun Immortal heard White Tiger's words, he also said to White Tiger slowly, Senior White Tiger, Senior asked me to come and see you. When White Tiger heard that Xiao Changtian was looking for him, he said slowly to the Great Sun Immortal, Daoist Big Sun, I'll leave these two to you. If you have any needs, tell them and let them help you. Then, White Tiger continued to transmit his voice to the Great Sun Immortal quietly. Perfected DeYang, don't tell Master about me. When the Great Sun Immortal heard the White Tiger's words, the demonic beast nodded at the White Tiger. This black tortoise kept telling him this, and he was already used to it. Then, the Great Sun Immortal said slowly to Qi Yen and the Divine Eye, I do need your help with something. Can you find a group of powerful cultivators? In the eyes of the Great Sun Immortal, perhaps they were the only way to find the laborers Xiao Changtian wanted. When Qi Yen heard the words of the Great Sun Immortal, he quickly nodded to him. No problem. We'll help you find whoever you want as long as you let us down. When White Tiger heard Crimson Flame's words, he slowly released the Divine Eye in his hand. How about this? You go and find him, and you stay here as a hostage. When Crimson Flame heard that White Tiger wanted to keep him as a hostage, he looked at the Divine Eye with hatred. It was clearly this fellow who had offended the White Tiger. So why was he the one who was injured? Chapter 535. This is the unmarried woman of my clan. Please accept her you. Ted by BXN0VL. Siamacron M Heavens Beyond. Ancient Fire Tribe. At this moment, Chen Yang was sitting on a chair in the middle of a square. Looking at the guards who were constantly patrolling around, Chen Yang also condensed his true essence to repair his damaged arm. The medicinal herbs piled up below the square were the ancient fire tribe's many years of accumulation. The resources he used to recover himself this time, in addition to the resources he gave to the Divine Eye previously, this had already consumed more than half of the ancient fire tribe's medicinal herbs and resources. Damn Lung Xiao. As Chen Yang thought about this, he couldn't help but scold Lung Xiao. At this moment, an ancient fire tribe cultivator slowly ran in from outside. Patriarch, that person from the lower realm has returned. Hearing that the Divine Eye had returned, Chen Yang's eyes lit up. He waved his hand at the ancient fire tribe cultivator in front of him and said slowly, Quick, call him over. Upon hearing Chen Yang's words, the ancient fire tribe cultivator immediately brought the Divine Eye to him. How is it? Did you find the White Tiger? Chen Yang looked at the Divine Eye in front of him and said slowly to him. The Divine Eye looked at Chen Yang and hesitated. He stammered to Chen Yang, Lord Qian. He was detained by the White Tiger. When Chen Yang heard White Tiger's words, he was also stunned. What happened? Tell me in detail. At this moment, the Divine Eye continued to speak to Chen Yang. Senior White Tiger, the resources you gave me aren't too. I'm satisfied. I want more resources. White Tiger sent me to pass on a message for my lord to bring more resources over. Chen Yang burst into laughter when he heard the Divine Eye's words. It seems that Lung Xiao really obtained a fortuitous encounter from the White Tiger, and even lost a lot of resources. White tiger, since you like resources, then you should do it well. Then, Qinyang said slowly to the divine eye, did that white tiger ask for any resources? The divine eyes saw that Qinyang was not angry when he heard that crimson flame was being held. Instead, he looked excited. He was also a little stunned. This fellow was even more ruthless than he had imagined. However, he was also a big idiot. This white tiger obviously wanted to take his resources for free, and he still wanted to give them to him. With this thought in mind, Divine Eye also planned to remind Qinyang. Sir, should we consider this carefully? Qinyang also glanced at him when he heard the divine eye's words. Sai, what are you thinking about? Just tell me what resources White Tiger wants. This person from the lower realm was timid and afraid. When the divine eye heard Qinyang's words, it did not say anything else. That White Tiger wants to recruit more people. Want someone? When Qinyang heard God Eye's words, he also laughed heartily. That's easy. Pass on my order. All the elite cultivators of the ancient fire tribe are to follow me to find the White Tiger. When the divine eye said that just now, he thought that it wanted some rare resources. He didn't expect that he wanted someone. In that case, Qinyang suddenly thought of something and said to the surrounding ancient fire tribe cultivators, all the women in the clan who are at least heaven immortals have to come with me. From the description of the divine eye, the White Tiger's strength was definitely far above Lung Xiaoxiao's. Previously, he was still wondering what Lung Xiaoxiao would use to move the White Tiger. It seemed that he was using his own people. This Lung Xiaoxiao usually looked cold and aloof, but who would have thought that in secret? When the ancient fire tribe cultivators heard Qinyang's words, they quickly gathered their tribesmen. Looking at the ancient fire tribe cultivators who were ready, Qinyang said slowly to the divine eye, let's go. He thought of White Tiger and the great sun immortal, then looked at Qinyang in front of him. After all, this was a force that he wanted to rely on in the future. If there were no more of them, then the heavenly gates would also be gone. Therefore, the divine eye also slowly said to Qinyang, Sir, let's just go over like this. Don't make any other preparations. What if, hey? Before divine eye could finish his words, he saw Qinyang wave his hand at him. What if? How can there be so many what ifs? I've been in the human realm upon heavens for so many years, and I've encountered everything. Moreover, we're in the lower realm. Just lead the way. This person from the lower realm was really timid. Hearing Qinyang's impatient voice, divine eye sighed. He could now hope that Qinyang would get what he wanted. Soon, under the guidance of the divine eye, the group of ancient fire tribe cultivators flew toward the divine world. At the same time, in the divine realm, in the 100,000 mountains, Xiao Changtian was standing on the deserted island, looking at the pile of bricks in front of him. There was also a pile of sand. Now, he had to wait for the great sun immortal to find him. I wonder how the search for the immortal De Yang is going. With this thought in mind, Xiao Changtian picked up the 9 heavens rake and walked slowly towards the valley. He didn't know where Monkey and Xiaobai had gone. He had to find them and bring them back. Otherwise, it would be terrible if they were really bitten by the wild beasts in the mountains. Outside the 100,000 mountains, under the guidance of the divine eye, Qinyang and the others also slowly arrived at the divine world. Looking at the 100,000 mountains in front of him, Qinyang also said slowly to the divine eye, the White Tiger is in this mountain range? When the divine eye heard Qinyang's words, it nodded slowly at him. Let's go. At this time, Qinyang would not doubt the divine eye's words. This was the fog in the 100,000 mountains. It did give him an unusual feeling. When Qinyang stepped into the 100,000 mountains, White Tiger, who was in the valley, slowly said to the great sun immortal, he's here. Crimson Flame, who was bound to the side, was also delighted when he heard White Tiger's words. Finally, Lord Qinyang was coming to save him. At this time, Crimson Flame also saw White Tiger staring at him. He also closed his mouth and looked at the White Tiger with fear in his eyes. At this moment, in the White Tiger's hand was a bloody corpse. This was the ferocious beast that the White Tiger had taken out from the mountain when Crimson Flame caught it. A fierce beast was almost unable to resist the White Tiger's hand and was eaten by him. It's not delicious. Bang! The white tiger directly threw the fierce beast corpse in its hand to the side. Then, he slowly looked in the direction of the entrance of the 100,000 mountains. At this moment, on the path of the valley, the divine eye brought Qinyang and the others' figures slowly into the vision of the great sun immortal. Crimson Flame saw Qinyang's arrival and waved at him excitedly. When Qinyang saw the white tiger in front of the valley, his expression was also very happy. He waved his hand behind him, and a few ancient fire tribe cultivators walked up. Senior White Tiger, this is an unmarried woman from my clan. Please accept her. As he spoke, Qinyang also revealed a smile to the white tiger. Chapter 536:1 Plan to build a harem for you. Do you like you? TED by BXN0VL. Siamacronimit. L Divine Realm. 100,000 mountains. The white tiger looked at Qinyang in front of him, and slowly looked at the woman beside him. When the great sun immortal saw Qinyang's actions, he was also somewhat unable to react. He asked the divine eye to help him find some cultivators to work. How did he get himself a group of women? At this moment, the female cultivator of the ancient fire tribe winked at the great sun immortal and white tiger at Qinyang's signal. Elder Daong felt the flirtatious look from the female cultivator of the ancient fire tribe, and he felt goosebumps all over. Then, he heard the white tiger slowly say to him, Taoist Big Sun, do you think these people are suitable? When the great sun immortal heard white tiger's words, he also looked at him. Senior White Tiger, I'm looking for people to work. These women aren't suitable. When the white tiger heard the words of the great sun immortal, it also breathed out from its nostrils. Then, the female cultivator who was winking at the white tiger felt a gust of wind blowing in front of her. Aha! The female ancient fire tribe cultivator screamed and was pushed aside. Qinyang saw that the female cultivators of his clan had been chased away by the white tiger. He looked at the white tiger awkwardly. He also knew that the female cultivators in his clan were not as beautiful as Lung Xiaoxiao. At this moment, Qinyang rolled his eyes and smiled at the white tiger. White tiger, do you think the resources I gave you last time are enough? When white tiger heard Qinyang's words, he was also interested. He looked at Qinyang without saying anything. When Qinyang saw the white tiger staring at him, he did not hesitate. He took out the other interspatial ring that he had prepared in his pocket. Senior White Tiger, this is a small token of my appreciation. White Tiger looked at the interspatial ring in Qinyang's hand and said slowly, Trash, bang. White Tiger's words slowly sounded in everyone's ears. The ancient fire tribe members looked at each other angrily. The resources of their race were actually trash in the eyes of the white tiger. Wasn't this looking down on their race? When Qinyang heard white tiger's words, his face also gave a stiff smile. Senior White Tiger, this isn't very good. When White Tiger heard the name Morning Sun, he lazily stood up from the ground. Sensing the pressure released from the white tiger's body, Qinyang's expression was a little ugly at this moment. White Tiger, since we can't come to an agreement, return the resources you gave us. At this moment, Qinyang gritted his teeth and slowly said to the white tiger. If not for White Tiger's cultivation being too powerful, Qinyang would have gone up to fight with him. However, since he couldn't win, he thought about the resources he had given out previously. Qinyang's heart ached. When White Tiger heard Qinyang's words, he also found it a little funny. This person was in cahoots with the cultivators who wanted to deal with Master. It was already a blessing that he did not kill all of them here. Now, he was even asking for resources from him. At this moment, the white tiger also slowly raised his palm. As the white tiger raised its palm, everyone felt a sharp spiritual energy gathering between heaven and earth. Roar! In the valley, the faint roar of a white tiger could be heard. When the ancient fire clan cultivators saw the white tiger's power, they were terrified and slowly fled to the back. At this moment, the divine eye also slowly said to Qinyang, Sir, capture that old man. The divine eye had also seen that the relationship between Taoist Big Sun and White Tiger and the others was not bad. However, this old man's strength was indeed very low. If they could control him, they might have a chance of survival. When Qinyang heard the divine eye's words, He also looked in the direction of the great sun immortal. He bit it, and a flame slowly rose from his body. He was about to attack the great sun immortal. On the other side, Xiao Changtian slowly came to the front of the valley. When they heard the roar coming from the valley, they cursed in their hearts. This voice was obviously the voice of a tiger. The tiger was in the mountains, so he didn't want to take Little White away. With this thought in mind, Xiao Changtian quickened his pace. At this moment the white tiger, who was about to hit Qin Yang in the air, also realized something. He slowly retracted his aura and transformed into a little white cat. Soon after, a voice slowly sounded in the valley. Daoist Big Sun, Little White, I finally found you. Xiao Changshan's voice echoed in the valley. When Qin Yang heard his voice, he looked at Xiao Changtian. Seeing the 9 heavens rake in Xiao Changshan's hand, he was also shocked. He hurriedly withdrew his huge flaming palm that was about to attack the great sun immortal. Bang! His body fell from the sky. He felt a deadly aura from Xiao Changshan's 9 heavens rake. He was sure that Xiao Changtian had a high-grade immortal artifact in his hand. Moreover, it sounded like he was here to look for the immortal of the great sun and white tiger. If such a person saw him attack the immortal De Yang and the white tiger, then he could forget about leaving today. Therefore, Qin Yang also hurriedly released his flaming palm. Looking at Xiao Changtian, who was slowly walking over, he couldn't care less about his own injuries and looked at him in fear. Who are you? Xiao Changtian came to the side of the great sun immortal and the white tiger. Hearing Qin Yang's words, he said to him slowly, Daoist Big Sun, this is the brick-moving worker you found, right? Come catch it. While speaking, Xiao Changtian also threw his 9 heavens rake at Qin Yang. No! Qin Yang roared in his heart. Then, he saw the 9 heavens rake directly attack him. Even if a high-grade immortal weapon was not driven by any true essence, the power it brought was not something that Qin Yang could resist. Bang! The 9 heavens rake slowly pressed down on Qin Yang's body. Then, under everyone's gaze, Qin Yang's figure was directly pressed to the ground. At this moment, Xiao Changtian slowly picked up the white tiger from the ground. Xiaobai, how come you're here? I've been looking for you. Xiao Changtian rubbed the white tiger's body as he spoke. At this moment, Qin Yang looked at Xiao Changtian in front of him. The white tiger that had just awed a region was now lying obediently in Xiao Changshan's arms. So it wasn't the white tiger that Lung Xiaoxiao found, but this person. All of a sudden, Qin Yang realized that he understood everything. Why did the white tiger not even look at him when he handed the ancient fire tribe cultivator to him? It turned out that Lung Xiaoxiao was not familiar with the white tiger at all. It was the person in front of him. He had just attacked his people in front of him. This was probably. At the thought of this, Qin Yang saw the female cultivator of the ancient fire tribe and grasped her last desire to live. What are you still doing there? Come and greet your future master. Then, Qin Yang slowly said to Xiao Changtian, Senior, I plan to build a harem for you. Do you like it? Chapter 537. I'll definitely find you a good one when I get back you. TED by BXN0VL. Siamacron M Divine Realm. 100,000 Mountains. Xiao Changtian heard Qin Yang's words and looked at the great sun immortal beside him. The great sun immortal felt Xiao Changshan's gaze and shook his head. He did not know what was going on with Qin Yang either. When he faced Senior White Tiger earlier, Qin Yang had also brought out a bunch of beautiful women. Xiao Changtian looked at Daoist De Yang, then at Qin Yang, and the group of female ancient fire tribe cultivators. He was a hot-blooded man. If he didn't have any thoughts about these beautiful women, that was simply nonsense. However, he was just a mortal. He couldn't raise so many girls. Even if he could survive, others might not take a fancy to him. Besides, he was looking for people to work, not to provide for him. As he thought about this, Xiao Changtian also looked at Qin Yang. Seeing that Qin Yang was pressed to the ground by the 9 heavens rake, Xiao Changtian said to him slowly, Why aren't you getting up? Xiao Changtian looked at Qin Yang strangely. Why did this person look a little abnormal? When Qin Yang heard Xiao Changshan's words, he looked at Xiao Changshan's face with a sad expression. It wasn't that he didn't want to get up, but that he had placed a high-grade immortal artifact on his body. How did he get up? Xiao Changtian looked at Chen Yang, who was still motionless on the ground after hearing his words. He sighed and slowly walked to Chen Yang's side, picking up the 9 heavens rake that was pressing down on him. She slowly said to him, "Stand up." Xiao Changtian removed the 9 heavens pollock from his body, and Chen Yang slowly stood up. Seeing Chen Yang stand up, Xiao Changtian continued, "Take these girls with you." Not suitable. These women had thin arms and tender legs. What kind of work could they do? Hearing Xiao Changshan's words, Chen Yang also understood. She waved her hand at the ancient fire tribe cultivators, and the group of female cultivators immediately walked to the side. At this time, Chen Yang continued to speak to Xiao Changtian. "Senior, don't worry. I'll definitely find you a good batch when I get back." Hearing Chen Yang's words, Xiao Changtian almost cursed. Do I look that lecherous? This guy couldn't tell that he was a very upright person. At this time, Xiao Changtian slowly walked to the side of the great sun immortal and said to him, "Daoist big sun, I'll have to trouble you to deal with these people." While speaking, Xiao Changtian also wanted to bring the white tiger inside. Daoist Dayang nodded at him. After Xiao Changtian left, Daoist Dayang also slowly walked towards Chen Yang. Chen Yang looked at the approaching Daoist Master Dayang and smiled at him. "Fellow Daoist, if you have anything to say it." After seeing Xiao Changtian, Chen Yang didn't have any other thoughts in his heart. He just wanted to leave this place as soon as possible. The great sun immortal looked at Chen Yang in front of him and said slowly to him, "Senior asked me to deal with it. How do you think I should deal with you?" Looking at the harmless face of the great sun immortal in front of him, Chen Yang also had a bad feeling. How about this? Don't hand over the interspatial ring. As soon as the grand sun immortal finished speaking, Chen Yang gave the interspatial ring on his hand to the grand sun immortal without any hesitation. When the great sun immortal saw Chen Yang's decisive look, he said to him slowly, "All right, get lost." He thought about how Chen Yang was also here to give them resources. The great sun immortal did not make things difficult for him. Upon hearing the words of the enlightened person of the great sun, Chen Yang immediately ran out of the 100,000 mountains. After leaving the 100,000 mountains, Chen Yang looked at the 100,000 mountains behind him while panting. This lower realm was actually so strange. He definitely did not want to come here in the future. At this moment, Chen Yang said to the ancient fire tribe cultivator beside him, "What about that person from the lower realm?" Chen Yang's words were also a little angry. What did this divine eye say to him? The white tiger wanted more opportunities, and even said that it wanted people. He had prepared so many beautiful women. The white tiger, and that senior simply did not fancy them, all right? At this moment, Chen Yang wished he could tear the divine eye into pieces. When the ancient fire tribe cultivators heard Chen Yang's words, they looked at each other. He didn't find the divine eye at all. "Patriarch, are we still going to chase after them?" At this time, Crimson Flame appeared out of nowhere and said slowly to Chen Yang, "Chase? What are you chasing for? We don't even know where he went. What's the use of having you guys?" Looking at Crimson Flame in front of him, Chen Yang's heart was filled with anger. It was all because of this fellow that followed the divine eye here. He was fine, but he was being chased. As he thought of this, Chen Yang couldn't help but kick Crimson Flames, but a few times. At this moment, from the 100,000 mountains, a voice slowly reached Chen Yang's ears. "Remember, don't leak the place where Senior lives. Otherwise." Hearing the obvious threat in her words, Chen Yang stopped what he was doing. He bowed respectfully to the 100,000 mountains. Then he saw Crimson Flame, who had been kicked half to death by him, and said to the people behind him, "Hurry up and leave." After Chen Yang left, the immortal De Yang also slowly arrived on the deserted island. Looking at Xiao Changtian in front of him, the great sun immortal said to him slowly, "Senior, they have already been chased away." Hearing God Eye's words, Xiao Changtian nodded at him. Then, he slowly stood up from the ground and said to the great sun immortal, "Perfected great sun, I think it's better to find the craftsmen who used to work in Great Sun Town over the next few days. The craftsmen of our great sun are still the most reliable." Hearing Xiao Changshan's words, the great sun immortal was delighted. He said to Xiao Changtian slowly, "All right, Senior, I'll go find them now." Xiao Changtian looked at the direction where the great sun immortal had left, and said to his disciple who had come to help, "Don't go solo. Go out and take a walk on the streets. See if anyone is willing to come here to build fortifications." It was definitely not enough to rely solely on the craftsmen in Daong Town. This wasn't his own small courtyard. If he relied on them, he definitely wouldn't be able to complete it in time. When Yi Fan and the others heard Xiao Changshan's words, they also nodded at him. "All right, master." Just as Yi Fan left the 100,000 mountains, the spirit race in the distant heavens beyond had also received the news that the divine eye was dealing with the 100,000 mountains. At that moment, Lung Xiaoxiao also gave the order to eliminate the Heaven's Gate. This ancient sect in the divine world also disappeared in the long river of history. Chapter 538. We will move the bricks well 1U. TED by BXN0VL. Siamacron M1K Gate of Heaven. At this moment, in the sky above the divine gate, a figure slowly stood in the air. Looking at the palace that was almost crippled, the divine eye laughed. This sect that he had existed for many years had been completely destroyed because of him. Then, the divine eye slowly came to the ground and looked at the corpses. His mouth also slowly said, "Everyone in the Elysium, don't worry. Your deaths are worth it. I will definitely destroy the divine realm." As he spoke, the divine eye waved his sleeve, and the corpses of the Heaven's Gate disciples beside him turned into ashes. Back in the 100,000 mountains, the divine eye had urged Chun Yang to attack. It was also through this gap that he escaped from the 100,000 mountains. Then, just as he had expected, Chun Yang's failure led to the destruction of the entire Heaven's Gate by the spirit race. After slowly doing all this, the divine eye slowly walked to the side. "Spiritual race, divine realm, you've destroyed my foundation. You'll definitely pay the price." As soon as he finished speaking, the divine eye turned into a stream of light and flew into the distance. Tianyuan Continent, Daong Town. The immortal of Great Sun stepped on the red carpet and slowly landed on the surface of Great Sun Town. The patrolling Great Sun sect disciples in Great Sun Town saw the perfected Great Sunday. He also walked over and said slowly to the Great Sun immortal, "Ancestor, Divine King Red Cloud from the town has been looking for you in the Great Sun sect." Hearing that Divine King Red Cloud was looking for him, the Great Sun immortal turned to the Great Sun sect disciple in front of him. "It just so happens that I have something to look for him too. Help me pass on a message. Tell God King Red Cloud to bring their good friends and wait for me in Elder Zui's courtyard." At this moment, in Elder Zui's courtyard, Zhu 1, Zhu 2, Zhu 3, Zhu 4, Zhu 5 were also sitting on the steps of the courtyard. Zhu San held a straw in his mouth and slowly said to Zhu Yi, "Big brother, the houses in this town have been repaired by us. I see that Senior seems to be quite busy recently. Why don't we go and see if there's anything we can help with?" When Building 1 heard Building 3's words, he slowly said to him, "It's not appropriate for us to ask about Senior's matters. It wouldn't be good if I went over and disturbed Senior." Hearing Zui's words, Zhu San also smacked his lips and didn't say anything. At this moment, the voice of the great young master slowly sounded in the courtyard. "Elder Zhui, I finally found you. Daoist Great Sun?" Zhu San said in surprise when he saw the arrival of the Great Sun Immortal. The Immortal De Yang didn't usually interact with them, and he was Xiao Changshan's favorite. Could it be that Senior has some instructions for the Great Sun Immortal to come knocking? "Daoist Big Sun, what's the matter with Senior?" At this moment, Zhu San also said slowly to the Great Sun Immortal. Hearing Zhu San's words, the Great Sun Immortal smiled. "Senior is preparing to build a main hall in the Divine Realm, and wants to ask Elder Zhu Yi for help. All right, big brother, let's hurry up and set off." Upon hearing Big Sun's words, Building 3 said excitedly to Building 1. He had never been to the Divine World before. Building 1 glared at Building 3. "Daoist Big Sun, please tell Senior that we'll go now." At this moment, Divine King Red Cloud and Divine King Black Heaven received a notification from the Great Sun Sect disciples. He also came to Elder Zui's courtyard. When he saw the Great Sun Immortal, he said to him, "Perfected De Yang, I was just looking for you. I saw Senior coming in and out recently, Is there anything you need our help with? Upon hearing what Divine King Red Cloud said, the great Sun Immortal said slowly to Elder Zhui, Elder Zhui, Senior said that there are no lack of employees, so we'll have to trouble you. Upon hearing the word staff, Deity King Red Cloud, and the others also realized something. Could it be that they could move bricks again? During this period of time, they did not carry bricks, so the progress of their cultivation was much slower. Senior must have found out about their situation, so he found them a job. With this thought in mind, he said to Great Sun Immortal, Taoist Big Sun, please tell Senior that we will move the bricks properly. After handing over the matter, the Great Sun Immortal smiled. He brought God King Hong Yun and Elder Zhu Yi to the Divine World. Divine World, Luo Water Empire. At this moment, Luo Tian's figure slowly stood on the walls of the Luo Shui dynasty. After moving the bricks, Luo Tian had become the true ruler of the Luo River dynasty. Looking at the sword marks on the city wall, Luo Tian sighed. Jiang Beichen was a great contributor to Luo Shui. These sword marks were also to let the people know about Jiang Beichen's existence. It was also a shock to all the enemies of the Luo Water dynasty. At that moment, an old servant slowly walked up to Jiang Beichen. Your Majesty, it's time to go to court. All the lords are waiting for you in the main hall. This old servant was obviously used to Jiang Beichen standing on the city wall PvPRV Fimo. Therefore, his words revealed a hint of joy. Luo Tian also turned around and walked in. At this moment he seemed to have sensed something. A streak of light flew across the sky above the imperial city, and Jiang Beichen's figure slowly appeared in front of Luo Tian and the others. Eunuch, have you seen Senior? Am I seeing things? Seeing Jiang Beichen's figure appear in the air, Luo Tian pulled the corner of his old servant's clothes and said slowly to him. The old servant was pulled by Luo Tian and looked at the figure in the air. Although he had never seen Jiang Beichen before, he had in the royal family many times. Seen the portrait kept, Your Majesty, it seems to be a senior. At this moment, the old servant also said in a somewhat unreal manner. As the old servant spoke, Jiang Beichen's figure slowly landed on the city wall. Upon seeing Luo Tian, Jiang Beichen said to him, Luo Tian, you seem to be doing quite well as an emperor. Hearing Jiang Beichen's words, Luo Tian slowly reacted. Although the Luo Shui dynasty had become the ruler of a continent, Luo Tian had never forgotten his roots. When she saw Jiang Beichen, she walked towards him. Senior, you've come to the Luo Water dynasty. Seeing the agitated Luo Tian, Jiang Beichen said in embarrassment, Luo Tian, I came to you this time because I need your help. Can you lend me some people? Strictly speaking, the Luo Shui dynasty did not owe Jiang Beichen anything. Last time, he had also given his dynasty's sacred item, Luo Shui, to Jiang Beichen. Hearing Jiang Beichen's words, Luo Tian didn't hesitate. I'd love to. Chapter 539:1 Have to Find a Chef. 1U. TED by BXN0VL. Siamacron M Divine Realm. In front of the 100,000 mountains. When Jiang Beichen had recruited the Luo Shui dynasty, Yi Fan and Futian had done the same. He went to the various immortal continents of the divine world to recruit the people he knew before. At this moment, a large group of cultivators had already gathered in front of the 100,000 mountains. Then, Taoist De Yang brought Elder Zhu Yi's figure and slowly arrived at Yi Fan and the others. After the Great Sun Immortal landed, he also gestured slightly to Yi Fan and the others. Then, Yi Fan said slowly to Elder Zhu Yi behind the Great Sun Immortal, Elder Zhu Yi, take a look. Do these meet the construction requirements? When Elder Zhu Yi heard Yi Fan's words, he also glanced at Luo Tian and the others. Not bad. Much better than those people from before. As Elder Zhu Yi finished speaking, God King Hong Yun and the others behind him also blushed. Indeed, their cultivation levels were slightly inferior to Luo Tian's. Luo Tian looked at Elder Zhu Yi and didn't look down on him, just because he was at the great vehicle stage. How could someone who could talk to the seniors on equal terms be an ordinary person? Everyone go in. Don't let Senior wait for too long. At this moment, the Great Sun Immortal led Luo Tian and the others into the 100,000 mountains. Soon, under the lead of Taoist De Yang, Yi Fan and the others arrived beside Xiao Changtian, looking at the spiritual qi of this world and the ferocious name of the 100,000 mountains. All the cultivators looked at Xiao Changtian in awe. Only Senior would want to build his own home. He did not expect that he would have the chance to enter a forbidden area like the 100,000 mountains in his lifetime. Xiao Changtian also saw Elder Zhu Yi and the others. He walked over to them and said slowly, "Elder Zhu Yi, I'll have to trouble you again." As he spoke, Xiao Changtian took out a blueprint from his pocket. After handing it to Elder Zhu Yi, he continued, "Elder Zhu Yi, do you think there's a problem with this construction?" Elder Zhu Yi slowly took the blueprint from Xiao Changtian. When he opened it, his hands that were holding the blueprint actually started to tremble. The blueprints and designs given to him by this senior were simply divine. Every design was done at the peak of the construction path. Wasn't this what he was pursuing? Although Senior had asked him to build it, he was also giving him advice. Thinking so, Elder Zhu Yi said to Xiao Changtian slowly, "Senior, I'll definitely complete the construction according to your instructions." After the last delay, Elder Zhu Yi still felt a little apologetic. Xiao Changtian smiled at Elder Zhu Yi when he heard that there was no problem. Then he looked at the crowd behind him and slowly said, "Everyone is here to move bricks and build, right? How do you calculate this salary?" Hearing Xiao Changshan's words, Luo Tian and the others looked at each other. Then, they said to Xiao Changtian in unison, "Senior, we don't need to pay you." They came here not only to repay their kindness, but also to see Xiao Changshan's face. If he could get Xiao Changshan's guidance, he might be able to soar in the future. At this time, who would want to ask Xiao Changtian for money? Hearing their firm voices, it didn't seem like they were lying. It seemed that the people that Taoist Big Sun and Yi Fan had found were quite good. He didn't even need to pay. After thinking about it, Xiao Changtian slowly said to them, "How about this? Everyone will work here. Food and accommodation are included. I'll give you another calligraphy and painting afterwards. Is that okay?" Luo Tian and Divine King Red Cloud were excited when they heard Xiao Changshan's words. "I'm waiting for Senior to hear the truth." Seeing that everyone had agreed, Xiao Changtian signaled for Elder Zhu Yi to bring them to familiarize themselves. After all, he couldn't take advantage of others for free. He had come all the way to this barren mountain to work for him. If he didn't earn anything, he would feel bad. At this time, Xiao Yin also saw Yi Fan. He picked up the 9 Heavens rake and said to Yi Fan, "Yi Fan, you should go over and help too." There was strength in numbers. Yi Fan used to chop firewood and carry water in the courtyard. It was the same if he came here to change jobs. When Yi Fan heard Xiao Changshan's words, he also slowly took the 9 Heavens rake from Xiao Changtian. As soon as the 9 Heavens rake entered the door, Yi Fan felt a weight pressing on his hand. It seemed that his master was training him. "Master, disciple will go to work first." Yi Fan held the 9 Heavens rake in his hands and slowly said to Xiao Changtian. Hearing Yi Fan's words, Xiao Changtian nodded at Yi Fan. Then, Xiao Changtian looked at Lin Ruomiao and said to her slowly, "Ruomiao, come help me out in the kitchen. We're going to start cooking." With so many workers here at once, he had to cook. Even though they didn't need to be paid, it was still a huge expense to have so many people eat every day. It seemed that he had to find a chef. Otherwise, just cooking here every day would take a day. After Lin Ruomiao heard Xiao Changshan's words, she also came to the kitchen to help Xiao Changtian. After she found all of the Lin family's members, Lin Ruomiao started to become interested in these chores. Thus, he was very skilled in helping Xiao Changtian. At this moment, the great sun immortal also slowly walked into the kitchen. "Senior, there are 2 women outside. They want to see Senior." Hearing that there were 2 girls, Lin Ruomiao also looked at Xiao Changtian. Xiao Changtian felt Lin Ruomiao's gaze and smiled at her. Then he said slowly to the great sun immortal, "Who is it?" "Lung Xiaoxiao and Miss Lung Mei." When the great sun immortal heard Xiao Changshan's words, he also said to Xiao Changtian, "Oh, it's those 2 girls." Xiao Changtian also said to Lin Ruomiao after hearing the words of the great sun immortal, "Ruomiao, you watch first. I'll be right back." After Chunyang arrived, Xiao Changtian didn't plan to meet anyone, especially under Lin Ruomiao's gaze. He made it seem like he was doing something wrong. However, he was planning to find out how to find Chef Lung Mei and Lung Xiaoxiao seemed to be locals, so she just happened to ask. Then, under the guidance of the great Sun Immortal, Xiao Changtian also arrived outside the island. Seeing Lung Xiaoxiao and Lung Mei in front of him, he smiled and walked towards them. Why are the two ladies so free to come here? Is there anything? Lung Xiaoxiao and Lung Mei heard Xiao Changshan's words and said to him, Senior. Chapter 540, Hellfire Won You. TED by BXN0VL. Siomicron M Divine Realm. 100,000 Mountains. Hearing Xiao Changshan's words, Lung Xiaoxiao and Lung Mei were also a little nervous. Lung Xiaoxiao also wanted to come here to apologize to Xiao Changtian as soon as possible. After all, Elysium was also considered his subordinate force. Previously, he had strictly ordered that the Divine Realm could not be targeted by the entire Divine Realm. He didn't expect to offend Xiao Changtian so quickly. Xiao Changshan's words just now sounded like he was going to punish him. At this moment, Xiao Changshan's voice was heard. Ladies, do you know where I can find a chef? Chef. Hearing Xiao Changshan's words, Lung Xiaoxiao and Lung Mei were stunned. Then Lung Xiaoxiao understood. Senior was giving them a chance to turn over a new leaf. Lung Xiaoxiao said to Xiao Changtian, Senior, as far as I know there's one. I just don't know if it's suitable. Hearing Lung Xiaoxiao's words, Xiao Changtian was also a little confused. How much does that person earn as a chef a month? He asked himself if it was appropriate. Could it be that the chefs here were all asking for very high prices? When Lung Mei heard Xiao Changshan's words, he said to Xiao Changtian slowly, Senior, he doesn't want wages. No wages. Wasn't that good? Could it be that all the dishes were black? How does his food taste? How do people evaluate it? Lung Xiaoxiao heard Xiao Changshan's words and said slowly, Senior, his culinary skills are the best in our world. Xiao Changtian was also puzzled when he heard Lung Xiaoxiao and Lung Mei's words. They didn't need to pay, and the food they cooked was top-notch. That was simply the perfect chef he had been looking for. Why was it inappropriate? Thinking so, Xiao Yin said to Lung Xiaoxiao and Lung Mei slowly, Isn't that good? Can you take me to visit him? Hearing Xiao Changshan's words, Lung Xiaoxiao hesitated for a moment and said slowly to Xiao Changtian, Senior, the person who came here a while ago was his subordinate. You and him. Lung Xiaoxiao hesitated for a moment. Hearing Lung Xiaoxiao's words, Xiao Changtian understood. So that was the reason. Those people who came to his place before were indeed a little strange. That man kept introducing women to her. Xiao Changtian said slowly to Lung Xiaoxiao, Miss, is that chef lecherous? Hearing Xiao Changshan's words, Lung Xiaoxiao and Lung Mei looked at each other. He also nodded to Xiao Changtian. Indeed, they wanted to introduce Xiao Changtian to a big shot of the Saint Spirit Sky. Celestial King Hellfire. The Saint Spirit Sky had many factions, and all of them were complicated. However, the Hellfire faction was definitely one of the most powerful factions in the Saint Spirit Sky. Even the ancient fire tribe was just a force that the Hellfire had placed outside. Although this Hellfire was an immortal king, he wasn't interested in cultivation or fighting. It was said that it was born with a ball of immortal fire. With its talent, it continuously absorbed the spiritual energy of the Saint Spirit Sky. Naturally, he reached the immortal king realm. To her, the things she was most interested in were cooking and going to brothels to listen to music. Originally, Lung Xiaoxiao interrupted Xiao Changshan's introduction of the Hellfire. In terms of culinary skills, no one in the Saint Spirit Sky could compare to him. Xiao Changtian pondered for a while after hearing Lung Xiaoxiao's words. Then he said to Lung Xiaoxiao and the others, Two ladies, take me there. Lung Xiaoxiao nodded at Xiao Changtian. There were basically no beautiful women on his island. They were all a group of brick-moving men, so he was not very worried. As for his disciples, they were Lin Ruomiao and Daji. However, Lin Ruomiao and Daji were rarely on the island. There shouldn't be any problems. While Xiao Changtian was thinking about this, Lin Ruomiao slowly walked to his side. Master, I'll go with you. Hearing Lin Ruomiao's voice, Xiao Changtian also looked at him. If this person was really a pervert, would Lin Ruomiao still go over? Lin Ruomiao seemed to know what Xiao Changtian was going to say, so she spoke first. With the two sisters, you don't have to worry about your master. Xiao Changtian suddenly didn't know what to say. He looked at Lin Ruomiao and slowly said to her, "All right then." This was also the first time Leng Xiaoxiao and the others saw Lin Ruomiao. Looking at the fresh and refined woman, Leng Xiaoxiao and Leng Mei felt a little inferior. Following that, under Leng Xiaoxiao's lead, Xiao Changtian and the others slowly flew towards the human realm upon heavens. At the same time, in the Saint Spirit sky, in a pavilion decorated with red wine and green flowers in a private room, a man with fiery red hair sat in front of a table. There were all kinds of fruits on the table in front of him. In the room, there were a few beautiful women dancing. On the side of the room, there were also a few women pulling their beards. When he heard the beautiful song, a few women beside him massaged his back. The fiery red man was enjoying himself. At this moment, a guard walked in from outside the door. "Lord Hellfire, Qinying requests an audience." Upon hearing the name Morning Sun, the Hellfire frowned. His body shook and he swayed his body. Then, the woman next to him automatically retreated. What is that kid doing here? Wasn't he in a holy war with the spiritual race recently? Hearing Hellfire's words, the guard slowly said to him, "Sir, should we let him in?" When Hellfire heard the guard's words, he slowly said to him, "Let him in." As soon as he finished speaking, Chen Yang's figure slowly appeared in Hellfire's private room. When Chen Yang came in and saw the Hellfire, he knelt down in front of him. "Sir, you have to save my ancient fire tribe. That Leng Xiaoxiao colluded with the White Tiger to destroy my ancient fire tribe." Hearing that it was about the holy war, the Hellfire frowned and waved his hand at his guard. Then the guard dragged Qinyang out. He thought it was something, but he didn't expect it to be a fight. Wasn't this affecting her listening to music? Then, the Hellfire waved at the woman in front of it. "Continue." Then, a burst of singing and dancing sounded in the private room. After Qinyang was dragged out by the guards, he shouted, "Lord Hellfire, listen to me." Gradually, Chen Yang's voice became farther and farther away. At the same time, Leng Xiaoxiao brought Xiao Changtian and the others into the Saint Spirit sky. Chapter 541. How great is it to cook and get a free Horyu? TED by BXN0VL. Siamacronem, 1 Saint Spirit sky above a small town. Leng Xiaoxiao, Xiao Changtian, and Lin Ruomiao slowly landed on the town. Arriving at a brand new town, Xiao Changtian also looked at both sides of the street. Different from Dayang town, there were all kinds of snacks on both sides of the town. There were almost no clothes or gestures. The street was filled with a fragrant smell, and Xiao Changtian could hear the shouts. Freshly slaughtered flaming red duck is definitely a great supplement. It can promote the circulation of true essence. Dark black beef tendon. Freshly baked dark black beef tendon, come and take a look. It's not expensive. It's only 10 spirit stones. Xiao Changtian looked at the small town that looked like a food street, and muttered in his heart. The people of this town were all bragging. What dark black beef tendon? It looked like the black pepper beef he had eaten in his previous life. The black color looked like it was 70 to 80% cooked. Most importantly, the people in the cultivation world didn't put in all kinds of seasonings. And that flaming red duck, didn't it mean that it was a roasted duck? The oily fiery red duck skin had a special flavor to it. Along with these shouts, a wave of fragrance entered his nose. Xiao Changtian couldn't help but rub his stomach. The journey here could be considered tiring, and he had not eaten much. Then Xiao Changtian said to Leng Xiaoxiao, "Miss Leng, let's find a restaurant to eat first." Leng Xiaoxiao nodded at Xiao Changtian, although they could already fast. However, this hell town was still the headquarters of the Hellfire, and all kinds of demon beast meat were sold on the streets. The hawkers gathered in the town were all culinary experts. Eating some demon beast meat was also quite beneficial to their cultivation. Leng Xiaoxiao said to Xiao Changtian, "Senior, I know a good restaurant. Please follow me." While talking, Leng Xiaoxiao also brought Xiao Changtian to a small path in the town. Leng Xiaoxiao wasn't familiar with Hell Town. However, he had some connections with some clans in Hell Town. After all, the entire sacred spirit world was ruled by the hellfire. No one would believe that Leng Xiaoxiao did not have any foundation here. Then, Leng Xiaoxiao led Xiao Changtian and the others through a small path. Soon they arrived in front of a small shop. Xiao Changtian looked up and saw the brand of first-grade fragrance. It seemed that the name was not bad. Leng Xiaoxiao said to Xiao Changtian slowly, "Senior, this is the best restaurant in the small town." Leng Xiaoxiao brought Xiao Changtian here because this store had a high status in Hell Town. The people gathered inside were all chefs from various places. They had both lost to him after competing with Hellfire in cooking. In the end, she was the chef who volunteered to stay and cook for him. Xiao Changtian nodded at Leng Xiaoxiao. Although this small town was filled with the smell of delicious food, however, he had not tasted it yet. He could go in and have a meal to see how good the chefs were. With this thought in mind, Xiao Changtian took the lead and walked in. After all, if he didn't eat actively, there was something wrong with his thinking. After entering the shop, a waiter walked up to Xiao Changtian. "Sir, this is your first time here. Come, let's order here." As a restaurant directly under Hellfire, first-grade fragrances service was the best in the entire town. Soon, Xiao Changtian arrived at the counter under the lead of the waiter. At this moment, the shopkeeper sitting at the counter said to Xiao Changtian, "Customer, take a look. What do you want? I'll arrange it for you." As he spoke, the shopkeeper handed Xiao Changtian a menu. Xiao Changtian looked at the dishes on the menu. What, 100 spirit stones? A vegetable actually cost 100 spirit stones? Then, he flipped to the next few pages and saw that some meat cost thousands of spirit stones. One spirit stone was worth 10,000 taels of silver. So these 100 spirit stones were worth 1,000,000 taels of silver. These few thousand spirit stones were equivalent to tens of millions of silver. Xiao Changtian slowly looked at the shopkeeper in front of him. Could this shop be a scam? At this moment, Leng Xiaoxiao also came behind Xiao Changtian. Seeing Leng Xiaoxiao, it was obvious that this was not the first time the shopkeeper had seen her. He also greeted her. "Miss Leng, you're here." Seeing the shopkeeper greeting Leng Xiaoxiao, Xiao Changtian was sure that he had not entered the wrong shop. Then he slowly said to the shopkeeper, "Shopkeeper, do you have anything cheaper?" The shopkeeper was stunned when he heard Xiao Changtian's words. Cheap. The cultivators who came with Leng Xiaoxiao should not be short of money. Looking at Xiao Changshan's delicate appearance, he didn't look like someone who wanted to cause trouble. Then, the shopkeeper slowly said to Xiao Changtian, "If it's cheap, the ingredients can be changed. Then the effect of eating it won't be so great." In order to ensure the quality of the ingredients in the shop, they had all been processed by some masters. In that case, the more true essence it contained, the less fragrant it would be. However, there were also some cultivators who came for a meal, not for cultivation. He was just like those mortals. Then, the shopkeeper slowly handed Xiao Changtian a menu. On the menu, there were some typical dishes that only required taste and not cultivation. Looking at the menu, Xiao Changtian hesitated. "Shopkeeper, do you have anything cheaper?" Although the dishes on this menu were cheaper than before, they still cost dozens of spirit stones. Wasn't this the hundreds of thousands of taels of silver? He couldn't afford it either. The shopkeeper and Leng Xiaoxiao didn't understand what Xiao Changtian wanted to do. At this time, the shopkeeper did not care about Leng Xiaoxiao's face. After all, he had the hellfire as his backer, so he wasn't afraid of anything. "You can eat it for free as long as you make a dish here." The shopkeeper directly said what Xiao Changtian was thinking. Leng Xiaoxiao heard the shopkeeper's words and looked at Xiao Changtian. Could it be that this was Senior's goal? However, cooking in first-grade fragrance was not an easy task. The purpose of the first-grade incense set this rule, is to win over the chefs from all walks of life. Find the best chef. Although Senior is strong his cooking skills. At this moment, Leng Xiaoxiao was also worried about Xiao Changtian. Xiao Changtian was delighted after hearing the shopkeeper's words. Cooking for free was such a good thing. No problem. Chapter 542. Don't Snatch It From Me 1U. TED by BXN0VL. Siamacron M Saint Spirit Sky. first-grade fragrance. After the shopkeeper heard Xiao Changshan's words, he also said to Xiao Changtian, "Please follow me to the kitchen." As he spoke, the shopkeeper brought Xiao Changtian to the back. Then, Xiao Changtian and the rest came to a room. At this moment, the two guards guarding the door blocked Leng Xiaoxiao's way. "Miss Leng, the kitchen is an important place. You're not chefs, so you can't come in. I hope you can understand." When Leng Xiaoxiao heard the shopkeeper's words, she nodded at him. She knew the rules of the hellfire. However, if Xiao Changtian didn't have any culinary skills at all, once they entered, they would be fooling the hellfire, and they would end up on the entire town's blacklist. Leng Xiaoxiao wanted to remind Xiao Changtian, but it was too late. At this moment, Lin Ruomio's voice sounded in Leng Xiaoxiao's ears. "Don't worry, master will be fine." Ever since she had taken Xiao Changtian as her master, Lin Ruomiao had never found out that Xiao Changtian didn't know how to do anything. When Leng Xiaoxiao heard Lin Ruomio's confident words, she also glanced at her. After Xiao Changtian entered the kitchen, he also saw that it was an empty space. All the chefs gathered, and the flames used by those chefs were all strange, and had all kinds of colors. Xiao Changtian also understood that there were all kinds of wood in the cultivation world. The color of the flames was also different. "Please begin your production," the shopkeeper said slowly to Xiao Changtian. When those chefs saw Xiao Changtian, they also gave him a silly smile. "There's another newcomer. I wonder how strong he is. He looks very young." "Yes, who can help us realize our desire to defeat the hellfire? Look, why did he go inside?" Hearing this surprised voice, the other chefs also looked at Xiao Changtian. At this moment, Xiao Changtian walked into a room. He started the fire like a mortal, and even used the black pot that someone didn't want. When they cooked, didn't they gather the power of heaven and earth outside and gather it into the food? If this person ran into the house, the difficulty of gathering the spiritual qi of heaven and earth would be much higher. Also, what was that ingredient? It seemed to be an egg. At this moment, all the chefs looked at the shopkeeper. They all suspected that the shopkeeper had brought the wrong person in. This person did not look like a chef at all. It was probably those cultivators who wanted to sneak into the first-grade incense to swindle food and drink. The shopkeeper was also a little dumbfounded when he saw Xiao Changshan's actions. If it wasn't for Leng Xiaoxiao, he would have kicked Xiao Changtian out. At this time, Xiao Changtian had already started a fire in the kitchen. He placed an egg into the black pot and went to the kitchen to look for it. This meal didn't look very good. At this moment, Xiao Changshan's impression of this first-grade incense had already started to change. This first-grade incense was decorated quite exquisitely. He didn't expect the kitchen to be like this. This black pot looked so shabby. It was unknown how many times worse it was compared to his own production. And why did the rice look like it was overcooked? Sigh. It seemed that the chefs here weren't that good either. With this thought in mind, Xiao Changtian didn't slow down. The black pot rolled in his hand a few times, and the white rice also swayed. When the chefs outside saw Xiao Changshan's actions, one of them said in shock, "Look, those leftovers are absorbing spiritual energy." The rice that Xiao Changtian used was leftovers that he thought were useless. The dishes that had lost their sensitivity to the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. He didn't expect Xiao Changtian to be able to absorb spiritual energy from the dishes. At this moment, a breeze was blowing outside the room. All the spiritual qi in the world seemed to be gathering towards the black pot in Xiao Changshan's hand. Those chefs looked at Xiao Changtian as if they were looking at something unbelievable. Xiao Changtian, who was in the kitchen, also muttered a few words. "There's not even an ingredient in the kitchen." Then, Xiao Changtian took out a few bottles of seasoning from his interspatial ring. "And what is that person holding in his hand?" After Xiao Changtian added the seasoning, Chef was surprised to find out. The food in Xiao Changshan's black wok seemed to have changed. It slowly evolved in the direction of the spirit herbs in the world. After a while, Xiao Changtian placed the food in his black pot on a plate. Walking out of the kitchen, Xiao Changtian slowly brought the dishes to the shopkeeper. "Manager, take a look. Is this egg fried rice okay?" At this moment, Xiao Changtian also wiped his forehead. The kitchen was a little hot. The shopkeeper looked at the plate that Xiao Changtian handed over, and took it with both hands. At this moment, the shopkeeper was also shocked. To be able to become the manager of a first-grade incense, he was previously a famous chef in the heaven realm. It was only after he lost to the hellfire that he was willing to give him a first-grade incense. He slowly dipped his hand into a few grains of rice, and put them into his mouth. The shopkeeper was also shocked. It was comparable to a ilo, 0-year-old spirit herb. The instant the rice entered the shopkeeper's stomach, the shopkeeper felt a pure spiritual power gathering in his 4 limbs. Even his true immortal realm was washed away by this power. There were also signs of a breakthrough. This was only the effect of a few grains of rice. At this moment, the shopkeeper did not dare to continue thinking about his own cultivation. Looking at Xiao Changtian in front of him, the shopkeeper slowly said to him, "Master, please forgive me for my disrespect earlier." Seeing the shopkeeper suddenly bow to him, Xiao Changtian hurriedly supported him. "Shopkeeper, this is just a casual dish. I can eat here now, right?" He had spent so much money, so he didn't want to waste it. Although this kitchen didn't look like much, it was fine as long as it was free. When the shopkeeper heard Xiao Changshan's words, he quickly said to Xiao Changtian, "Of course, master. Follow me." Following that, the shopkeeper gestured to the chefs outside. Those chefs immediately reacted. Looking at Xiao Changshan's back, they all scrambled to say, "Let me cook for senior. No one can snatch it from me." "What? I want to cook for senior. You're the one who's snatching mine, right?" For a moment, the chefs behind him all took out their unique skills to cook for Xiao Changtian. If Xiao Changtian ate it, he would be able to get a good review from him. Then their culinary skills would soar to the sky. Chapter 543. Criticizing the Dishes 1U. TED by BXN0VL. Siamacron M. Saint Spirit Sky. First grade fragrance. Xiao Changtian slowly walked out from the kitchen. At this moment, Lung Xiaoxiao came to Xiao Changshan's side and said to him slowly, "Senior, how is it?" Xiao Changtian looked at the shopkeeper and said to Lung Xiaoxiao, "The shopkeeper will arrange a meal for us." Looking at Miss Lung's anxious appearance, it seemed that she was tired from the journey and hungry. The shopkeeper felt Xiao Changshan's gaze and smiled at Lung Xiaoxiao. "Miss Lung, if you had told me earlier that you brought a master, I wouldn't have let the master cook." At this moment, the shopkeeper Lung Xiaoxiao complained. In Hell Town, status was never determined by cultivation. Because if your culinary skills were good, it meant that you could quickly gain the favor of the hellfire. Then, as long as your cultivation did not exceed the hellfire, your status here would be lower than those who were good at cooking. Just like how the shopkeeper, a true immortal, could become the owner of a first-grade incense stick. Although there were golden immortals among the chefs behind him, they did not dare to be disrespectful to the shopkeeper. Because no one here could withstand the anger of a celestial king. If Xiao Changtian were to gain the favor of the hellfire in the future, why was he so rude to him today? If Xiao Changtian wanted to deal with him, he would not be able to bear the consequences. Lung Xiaoxiao was also stunned when she heard the shopkeeper's words. Then he said to Xiao Changtian, "Senior." Xiao Changtian felt Lung Xiaoxiao's gaze and said slowly, "It's nothing. I just made a dish." Actually, it wouldn't be wrong for this shopkeeper to call him master. His cooking skills were rated as master level by the system. At this moment, the shopkeeper said to Xiao Changtian and Lung Xiaoxiao, "Please follow me." As soon as he finished speaking, the shopkeeper brought Lung Xiaoxiao and Xiao Changtian to an elegant private room. The window of the private room was a fake mountain with all kinds of beautiful scenery. Obviously, the shopkeeper had also brought Xiao Changtian and the others to the private room that had been prepared. Xiao Changtian and Lung Xiaoxiao were sitting in the private room while the shopkeeper was waiting for them. Then, a chef came up with his favorite dish. "Senior, this is the buffalo pickled cabbage soup I just made for you. Please try it." Seeing the chef serve the dishes, Xiao Changtian also picked up the chopsticks and bowls on the table. He scooped a bowl for Lung Xiaoxiao, Lin Ruomiao and the others. After the conversation with the shopkeeper, Lung Xiaoxiao understood that Xiao Changtian was a master in cooking. He didn't expect Xiao Changtian to be so powerful. And his cooking skills were also so profound. At this moment, Lung Xiaoxiao didn't dare to ask Xiao Changtian to scoop soup for her. And this soup, if it was under normal circumstances, he wouldn't have the chance to drink it. This was because the chef of first-grade fragrance had his own pride. Although they were first-grade chefs, not everyone could make them cook. For example, the chef in front of him was called White Hair. He specialized in cooking for Hellfire. Ever since she started eating first-grade incense, she had never had the chance to eat anything he cooked. Since Senior was able to make these chefs cook, it meant that his culinary skills were far beyond his imagination. Lung Xiaoxiao said to Xiao Changtian slowly, "Senior, I'll do it myself." Xiao Changtian smiled at Lung Xiaoxiao when he heard her words. "It's all right." Then, he scooped up a bowl of soup and slowly put it into his mouth. When the white-haired chef saw Xiao Changshan's actions, he was also looking forward to his comments. Xiao Changtian slowly said, "This one lacks seasoning." He could clearly feel that there shouldn't have been any seasonings put in here. When the white-haired man heard Xiao Changshan's words, he didn't react in time. He looked at Xiao Changtian and said slowly, "Senior, may I ask what the seasoning is?" Hearing the white-haired man's words, Xiao Changtian smiled at him. When he was barbecuing in the small courtyard, Jiu and the others were also shocked when they took out the seasoning. It seemed that the chefs in the cultivation world didn't really use seasonings. Then, Xiao Changtian took out a few bottles of seasoning from his space ring. He slowly handed it to the white-haired man and said to him, "These seasonings will taste better when you cook in the future." The white-haired man looked at the condiments that Xiao Changtian handed over and felt a little excited. Wasn't this seasoning used by Xiao Changtian when he made the egg fried rice? Senior actually gave him such a precious thing. At this moment, the white-haired man looked at Xiao Changtian and was touched. He said to Xiao Changtian slowly, "Thank you, Senior." "No need." Xiao Changtian waved his hand at the white-haired man. He had only come here to eat egg fried rice. No matter what, he had paid the chef for free. It was not bad to give him some seasonings. Anyway, these seasonings were not worth much. The chefs who came in later also received different degrees of guidance from Xiao Changtian. Soon, Xiao Changtian was about to leave first-grade incense with the shopkeeper. After Xiao Changtian came here, he understood why Lung Xiaoxiao said this was the best store. Although the dishes cooked by the chefs here didn't taste good, they were very studious, willing to listen to the suggestions of the guests and learn from them. Xiao Changtian believed that this restaurant would definitely be able to do better in the near future. When Xiao Changtian was about to leave, the shopkeeper took out a purple gold card from his pocket and handed it to Xiao Changtian. "Senior, this is the VIP card for first-grade fragrance." Xiao Changtian looked at the purple gold card handed over by the shopkeeper and took it. Xiao Changtian knew that it was a purple gold card. Wasn't this the VIP card from his previous life? This was also a way for the restaurant to promote their sales. Lung Xiaoxiao and Lung Mei looked at the purple card in Xiao Changshan's hand and were shocked. Others might not recognize it, but as the spiritual race's patriarch, Lung Xiaoxiao definitely recognized it. With this card, Xiao Changtian could come here to eat for free at any time. He could even make first-grade fragrance promote him to a certain extent. The shopkeeper saw Xiao Changtian take the purple card and smiled as he sent them off. After Xiao Changtian left, the shopkeeper said to the waiter beside him, "Inform the people of first-grade fragrance to show 120% respect to this master when they meet him in the future. Help me keep an eye on first-grade incense. I'll go look for Lord Hellfire." After the waiter heard the shopkeeper's words, he immediately went down to carry it out. After the waiter left, a plate of egg-fried rice appeared in the shopkeeper's hands. Chapter 544, Master Chef Meeting 1. In the Saint Spirit Sky, in a pavilion decorated with lanterns. At this moment, in a luxurious private room in the attic, Hellfire was lying on a fragrant bed. At this moment, a sound came from outside the door. "Enter." The Hellfire glanced at the door and saw the manager of first-grade fragrance walk in. "Sanji, you're here. Is there any new ingredient for first-grade fragrance?" At this moment, Hellfire also went straight to the point. Sanji waved his hand when he heard the Hellfire's words. The egg-fried rice made by Xiao Changtian appeared in his hand. Lord Hellfire, take a look at this. As he spoke, Sanji presented the egg-fried rice to the Hellfire. The Hellfire looked at the egg-fried rice in front of him with surprise. He stretched out his hand, and a ball of flame appeared in his palm. It brushed past the plate in Sanji's hand, grabbed a handful of rice from the plate, and ate a few mouthfuls. Not bad, not bad. When the rice entered his mouth, the Hellfire's lazy appearance disappeared. He sat up straight on the bed. He took the egg-fried rice from Sanji's hands and ate it all. Yes, it tastes great. After eating the entire plate of egg-fried rice, Hellfire looked as if he had not had enough. Previously, he had only eaten high-grade ingredients, but in order to maximize their effects. During the cooking process, some of the flavors contained in the ingredients had to be discarded. However, today's simple egg-fried rice not only preserved the efficacy of the ingredients, but also tasted excellent. Sanji, who did this? This king wants to reward him greatly. As he spoke, the Hellfire was already a little excited. Sanji heard the Hellfire's words and said slowly, Lord Hellfire, this wasn't made by our first-grade chef. It was made by a chef that Lung Xiaoxiao brought. Lung Xiaoxiao. When the Hellfire heard this name, it pondered for a moment. Then, a beautiful figure appeared in his mind. So it's that girl. Unfortunately, she's too cold. The Hellfire usually liked to listen to beautiful women playing music. However, he had an empty appearance and a cold personality. Lord Hellfire, do you want me to invite him over? When Hellfire heard Sanji's words, he slowly stood up from the bed. How did he cook this egg-fried rice? This Lord Hellfire, he made it with first-grade incense leftovers and an old black pot. To be honest, if he hadn't seen it with his own eyes, Sanji wouldn't have dared to speak nonsense here. When Hellfire heard Sanji's words, he turned around and said slowly, What did you say? I just ate leftovers. Can leftovers have that effect? As he spoke, the Hellfire also contained a trace of anger. In his opinion, Sanji must be toying with him. Sanji saw the angry look on Hell Gunpowder's face and slowly explained, It's true, Lord Hellfire. Even a first-grade incense chef can testify. Seeing Sanji's nervous expression, he didn't seem to be lying to him. The Hellfire slowly released him and said, Pass down the order. The town will hold the Master Chef competition in the next few days. The champion of the competition can compete with me in the end. Regardless of the result, he will be Helltown's honored guest in the future. Hearing Hellfire's words, Sanji hurriedly said to him, Lord Hellfire, I will pass down the instructions. Sanji looked at Hellfire's thoughtful expression and didn't know what he was thinking. Then he retreated. Helltown. After Xiao Changtian and Lung Xiaoxiao left first-grade incense, Xiao Changtian said to Lung Xiaoxiao slowly, Miss Lung, the chef you mentioned, where should we go to find him? After the meal, Xiao Changtian was about to get down to business. There were hundreds of people on this island waiting for him to find a chef to cook. Lung Xiaoxiao smiled sweetly at Xiao Changtian. Senior, let's go to a friend's house first. I haven't been here for a long time, so I need to talk to her. When she was at first-grade incense, Lung Xiaoxiao knew that she could find the Hellfire very quickly through the three rulers. However, first-grade fragrance had a condition for meeting Hellfire. That was to compete with Hellfire in cooking. If he failed, he would have to become Hellfire's chef in first-grade fragrance. Hellfire was known as the most powerful chef in the entire human realm upon heavens. Lung Xiaoxiao did not dare to let Xiao Changtian take this risk. Xiao Changtian nodded at Lung Xiaoxiao after hearing her words. Then, under Lung Xiaoxiao's lead, they slowly walked towards another direction in the town. Soon, under Lung Xiaoxiao's lead, Xiao Changtian and the others arrived in front of a house. There were two big words written on the house, the Han family. At this moment, Lung Xiaoxiao also walked to the front of the Han family's door and knocked on it. A maid poked her head out from the Han clan estate. Hello, I'm looking for Han Yu. Please inform her that Lung Xiaoxiao is here. When the maid heard Lung Xiaoxiao's words, she said to her, You wait here first. I'll go and inform them. After a while, a beautiful figure appeared in Xiao Changshan's field of vision. Sister Lung, you're here. Han Yu walked out from the main door of the mansion and said excitedly to Leng Xiaoxiao when she saw her. Sister Han, these are my friends. When Han Yu heard Leng Xiaoxiao's words, she also looked at Xiao Changtian and the others. Then he said to them, everyone follow me. Subsequently, under Han Yu's arrangements, Xiao Changtian and the others also stayed in the Han clan. In Han Yu's small courtyard, Leng Xiaoxiao also revealed the purpose of her trip. When Han Yu heard Leng Xiaoxiao's words, she also slowly said to her, young master, Sister Leng, I will help you keep an eye on this matter. Xiao Changtian heard Han Yu's words and slowly said to her, thank you for your trouble, miss. At this moment, a female servant walked in from outside. She slowly said to Han Yu, miss, the master wants you to go over. When Han Yu heard the maid's words, she stuck out her tongue at Leng Xiaoxiao. Sister Leng, you guys play first. Oh, go take a look first. Then, Han Yu followed the maid to the hall of the Han family. At the same time, a group of people slowly appeared outside the Han family's main gate. When the pedestrians saw this group of people, they consciously took a detour. It was because the logo on the car represented a family from Hell Town. The Mo family. At this moment, a figure slowly alighted from a small carriage pulled by a few mutated beasts. Chapter 545. Who are you? 1. Saint Spirit Sky. Han clan. At this moment, in the hall of the Han family, Han Yu and a white-haired old man stood to the side. Opposite them were a few old men in red. There was also a slightly younger man with a medal on his chest, and the way he stood in front of the old man, it would also expose his identity as the young master of the Mo family, Mo Xian. Uncle, what do you think of my suggestion? At this moment, Mo Xian was also looking at Han Yu, who was opposite him. His eyes were filled with some heat. Seeing Mo Xian looking at her without hiding it, Han Yu was also a little angry. The Han family and the Mo family were two first-rate families in Hell Town. For many years, although the two families had conflicts with each other, their strength was equal, and neither of them had much advantage. However, Mo Xian had used some unknown means to participate in the MasterChef competition organized by Hellfire. Moreover, he had obtained a good ranking among them, and was praised by the elders of the Hell sect. Thus, it also caused the Mo family's power to soar. Although Han Yu had already expected that the Mo family would make things difficult for their Han family, she didn't expect him to come so soon and marry her. The old man beside Han Yu was also Han Yu's father, the current clan head of the Han clan, Han Feng. Han Feng was caught off guard by the Mo family's suggestion. He thought that the Mo family would come to threaten him with something else, but he did not expect the Mo family to directly want to marry his only daughter. If he had known that this was the case, he would not have let Shane come over. After all, there were no males in the entire Han clan. As long as he married his daughter Han Yu, then it was only a matter of time before he annexed the Han family. At this moment, Han Feng slowly said to Mo Xian, Nephew Mo Xian, this matter came too suddenly. Why don't you go back first, and uncle will give you a reply in a few days. After all, I only have one precious daughter. I can't be too hasty about marriage, right? When Mo Xian heard Han Feng's words, he also understood that this was Han Feng's excuse. He then slowly said to Han Feng, Uncle Han, I won't hide it from you. I've already become the disciple of the fourth elder. Uncle, do you think that I'm not worthy of your daughter? As he spoke, Mo Xian also looked at Han Yu with a smile on his face. And Miss Han Yu, do you think there's a better match than me? When Han Yu heard Mo Xian's words, she also clenched her jade-like hands tightly, and did not say anything. She had thought that Mo Xian had only received fourth elder's praise. She did not expect him to become fourth elder's disciple so quickly. This way, as long as there was no reasonable reason, he would reject it. If that was the case, then the fight would not be for the Mo family's reputation, but for the Hell sect. Hell's Gate was a colossus in Hell Town, and even the entire Saint Spirit Sky. If they slapped the Hell sect in the face, their Han family would not be long from being exterminated. At this moment, Han Feng was also in a dilemma. At the same time, Xiao Changshan's figure slowly appeared in the hall. He waved his hand at Han Yu in the hall. Han Yu was also stunned when she saw Xiao Changtian suddenly appear outside the hall. Not only Shane, but everyone in the hall was stunned. This person looked unfamiliar. Uncle Han, what is this place? Mo Xian looked at Xiao Changtian outside the hall and spoke to Han Feng slowly. When Han Yu saw Xiao Changtian who had suddenly appeared, she also thought of something. He slowly walked towards Xiao Changtian and said, "Young Master Xiao, why are you here?" "Miss Han, may I ask where your toilet is?" Xiao Changtian came here by accident. After coming out of the small courtyard, he could not find a single toilet in the entire Han family compound. This rich family was indeed different. It was difficult to even find a toilet. As for the people in the mansion, they all looked at him strangely. After that, Xiao Changtian walked around the mansion and came to the front of the hall. Seeing that he barely knew Han Yu, he also wanted to ask her. After all, people had 3 urgent needs. When Han Yu heard Xiao Changshan's words, her expression was also a little strange. At their current level, they had already reached the level of fasting. Usually, even if he occasionally ate, he could still digest it by circulating his cultivation. There was no need for a toilet. However, in order to leave the hall as soon as possible, Han Yu slowly said to Xiao Changtian, "Young master, please follow me." Just as Han Yu was about to leave with Xiao Changtian, Mo Xian grabbed Xiao Changshan's arm. She slowly said to him, "This person looks unfamiliar. Who is he?" Seeing Han Yu walking so close to a man, Mo Xian looked at Xiao Changtian with an unfriendly gaze. Xiao Changtian was grabbed by Mo Xian. He turned around and swung his arm. Immediately, Mo Xian felt his body stagger. He took a few steps back before stabilizing himself. Damn it! How could he lose to the other men in front of Han Yu? With this thought in mind, Mo Xian walked up to Xiao Changtian and said slowly, "Do you know who I am?" Although this person had some strength, he looked unfamiliar. He definitely had no background. As long as he revealed his identity, he would obediently become his lackey. Xiao Changtian looked at Mo Xian in front of him and was a little angry. "Who are you? Who is this person?" Did he know that people had 3 urgent needs? It was really annoying. Mo Xian had a smile on his face when Xiao Changtian pushed him. His body was also sent flying to the side, and with a bang, he also crashed into a rock of the Han family. Han Yu looked at Xiao Changtian with surprise. Just as he was about to say something, he heard Xiao Changtian say slowly, "Miss Han, take me there." Han Yu nodded her head when she heard Xiao Changshan's words. It was not that the Han family did not have a toilet, but there was only one. When Han Yu brought Xiao Changtian to the toilet, the Mo family elder who was in the hall walked out. When they saw Mo Xian lying on the ground, they slowly said to Han Feng, who had followed them, "Patriarch Han, look at what your Han family has done." Han Feng saw Mo Xian lying on the ground with his head bleeding. For some reason she felt much better. He slowly said to the Mo family, "Nephew Mo, are you all right?" At this moment, Mo Xian slowly stood up from the ground and said to the elder beside him, "Elders, you must capture that brat. We can't let him go." When the few Mo family elders heard Mo Xian's words, they were also prepared to stand up and make a move. At this moment, Mo Xian saw Xiao Changtian walking back with Han Yu. He pointed at Xiao Changtian and said to the elders of the Mo family, "Elders, it's him." Chapter 546. Is any reward really fine? One Saint Spirit Sky. Han Clan Mo Xian pointed at Xiao Changtian and said slowly to the elders beside him, "Elders, capture him." Hearing Mo Xian's words, a few elders also charged towards Xiao Changtian. Xiao Changtian looked at the few old men walking towards him and walked over as if nothing had happened. Whoosh! Just as the elders of the Mo family were about to attack Xiao Changtian, the ant on Xiao Changshan's shoulder also emitted a silvery white light. Under the effect of the silver white light, a few elders of the Mo family also passed through Xiao Changshan's body. What was going on? The few elders of the Mo family looked at each other and saw the shock in their eyes. Then, he turned around and saw Xiao Changtian, who was already in front of Mo Xian. "Wow, this guy." Xiao Changtian looked at Mo Xian in front of him and said slowly, "Hey, are you okay? Why did you look for me just now?" It had only been a short while, and he had already gone to the toilet. This fellow was so careless. Mo Xian looked at Xiao Changtian in front of him, and couldn't help but take a few steps back. You, don't come over. Seeing Xiao Changshan's gaze, Mo Xian's eyes were filled with fear. At this moment, a few elders also came to Mo Xian's side. She whispered into his ear. Young master, this person is very powerful. It's better for us to go back and think about it. When they attacked Xiao Changtian just now, they realized that they couldn't touch him at all. They looked at Xiao Changtian, as if they were facing a great enemy. Mo Xian heard the elder's voice transmissions and gritted his teeth. He said fiercely to Xiao Changtian, just you wait. After saying this, Mo Xian left the Han family with the help of a few Mo family elders. Xiao Changtian was also a little dumbfounded when he saw Mo Xian leaving in a hurry. Then he turned around and slowly said to Han Yu, Miss Han, who was that just now? Han Yu smiled at Xiao Changtian when she heard his words. From Leng Xiaoxiao's side, she also noticed that Leng Xiaoxiao didn't treat Xiao Changtian like a servant. Instead, he was respectful. At that time, she felt that Xiao Changtian was not a simple person. At this moment, after hearing Xiao Changshan's words, he slowly said to Xiao Changtian, Senior, that was Mo Xian from the Mo family. As she spoke, Han Yu was also observing the change in Xiao Changshan's expression. Xiao Changshan's expression didn't change when he heard about the Mo family. He secretly heaved a sigh of relief. It seemed that this senior did not take the Mo family seriously at all. In that case, the Han family. Han Yu slowly said to Xiao Changtian when she thought of this, Senior, please help me. Xiao Changtian was also a little dumbfounded when he heard Han Yu suddenly ask for his help. This was fine. Why did he have to help? Although he had doubts in his heart, Xiao Changtian still hurriedly supported Han Yu. Miss Han, if you have anything to say, let's talk it out. There's no need to be like this. He was just a mortal and could not help much. If he could help, he would definitely help him solve it. After all, the other party had also provided him with accommodation. At this moment, Han Feng slowly arrived beside Han Yu. What are you doing? Although Han Feng didn't know where Xiao Changtian came from, he could tell that Xiao Changtian was different. When the few elders of the Mo family were dealing with Xiao Changtian, he had also caught a little bit of the power of space. However, no matter how powerful Xiao Changtian was, he couldn't possibly be stronger than the Hellfire. As long as they were not stronger than the Hellfire, it was useless to be stronger here. Dad, if Senior is willing to participate in the God of Cookery competition, then our Han family might have a chance of survival. When Han Feng heard Han Yu's words, he wanted to say something. At this moment, Leng Xiaoxiao also walked out from the side. He saw Xiao Changtian and Han Yu, as well as some remnant auras in the courtyard. He also came to Xiao Changtian and Han Yu's side and slowly said to them, Senior, Sister Han, what happened? Han Feng saw Leng Xiaoxiao and smiled at her. Now he understood why Xiao Changtian would come to the Han family. It turned out that he had come with Leng Xiaoxiao. At this moment, Han Feng also pulled Leng Xiaoxiao to the side. He told her about what had just happened. Hearing that Han Yu wanted to invite Xiao Changtian to participate in the God of Cookery competition, Leng Xiaoxiao also looked at Xiao Changtian. Then he slowly said to Han Feng, Uncle Han, I won't hide it from you. Senior has just obtained a first-grade incense purple gold card. I can't be sure if Senior wants to take action. Han Feng wanted to persuade Leng Xiaoxiao to persuade Han Yu to think of a better way. When he heard Leng Xiaoxiao mention the first-grade fragrance purple gold card, he swallowed his words. Now he understood that the person before him was not from the spiritual race. Instead, he was the one Leng Xiaoxiao called Senior. At this moment, Han Feng also hurried to Xiao Changshan's side and smiled at him. I didn't know that Grandmaster had arrived, so I didn't welcome you. Please forgive me, Senior. At this moment, Xiao Changtian also looked at Leng Xiaoxiao. Leng Xiaoxiao explained to Xiao Changtian, Senior, Uncle Han is very respectful to the cooking masters in the Ruda Empire. Hearing Leng Xiaoxiao's words, Xiao Changtian understood. No wonder Han Yu and Han Feng were so polite to him. They were also gourmets. At this moment, Xiao Changtian slowly said to Han Yu and Han Feng, I only know how to cook a few home-cooked dishes. It can't be considered a real skill. In the cultivation world, what was the use of his cooking skills? In the immortal cultivation world, having a big fist was the absolute principle. No matter how good your cooking is, if you meet some immortal cultivators who don't like you, they can still beat you to death at any time. Seeing Xiao Changshan's humble appearance, Han Feng also led Xiao Changtian into the hall. After sitting down in the hall, Xiao Changtian slowly said to Han Yu, "Miss Han, what trouble did you encounter just now?" When Han Yu heard Xiao Changshan's words, she slowly said to him, "Senior, this Mo Xian is proficient in cooking. Our Han family has already been defeated by him. I wonder if I can trouble you to show off your skills and represent the Han family to participate in the God of Cookery competition." As she spoke, Han Yu was also a little nervous. Han Feng, who was standing at the side, hurriedly added, "As long as Senior is willing, our Han clan is willing to pay any price." Han Yu nodded at this moment. "Miss Han, is it really okay for you to pay me anything?" Xiao Changtian said slowly to Han Yu. Chapter 547. Participating in the Master Chef competition. Saint Spirit Sky, Han Clan. At this moment, in the hall of the Han Clan, Han Yu nodded to Xiao Changtian after hearing his words. Seeing that Han Feng did not speak, Xiao Changtian slowly said to Han Yu, "Then exchange it with your most precious thing." This Han family was a well-off family. He thought back to the time when he had no money to eat at first-grade fragrance. Xiao Changtian also wanted to earn some money as soon as possible. Otherwise, it would be hard for him to live in the future. In any case, such a big family, giving him a little money wouldn't make much of a difference. When Han Yu heard Xiao Changshan's words, she also blushed slightly. His most precious thing, Senior's meaning. After Han Feng and Leng Xiaoxiao heard Xiao Changshan's words, their expressions changed, and they looked at Xiao Changtian with a strange expression. Xiao Changtian frowned when he felt their gazes. As the saying goes, a gentleman loves money and takes it in a proper way. I'm not stealing or robbing. I'm asking you for money to participate in a cooking competition. It didn't seem too much. At this moment, Han Feng wanted to stand up and say something. Han Yu, who was beside him, took the lead and slowly said to Xiao Changtian, "Senior, I'm willing to be your maid. Please represent the Han family in the competition." "You are." When Han Feng heard Han Yu's words, he wanted to say something to her. Han Yu glared at him and did not say anything. Maid? He already had Jiu'er. What was the point of having a maid? At this moment, Xiao Changtian slowly said to Han Yu, "I already have a maid." Hearing Xiao Changshan's words, everyone in the hall was stunned. Was Senior rejecting him? As Shane thought this, her face turned even redder. "I say, old master, what I mean is that you're a wealthy family. It's not too much to give me some money, right?" When Han Feng heard Xiao Changshan's words, he was also a little stunned. Then he smiled at Xiao Changtian and said, Oh, there's no problem with that." As he spoke, Han Feng hurriedly took out a bag of spirit stones from his interspatial ring. He handed it to Xiao Changtian and said slowly, "Senior, this is a small token of my appreciation. Please accept it." Then, as if she wasn't worried enough, she said to the maids outside the door, "The few of you, go to the storeroom and get the spirit stones." If he knew that Xiao Changtian wanted spirit stones, Han Feng would have given him as many as he wanted. When Leng Xiaoxiao heard that Xiao Changtian wanted spiritual stones, she felt relieved for some reason. After some small talk, Xiao Changtian also took a bag of spirit stones from Han Feng. In the end, he agreed to help the Han family participate in the competition. After Xiao Changtian learned that the hellfire he was looking for would attend the God of Cookery competition, he had to find a way out. He was also happy that he would participate in the God of Cookery competition. It was simply killing two birds with one stone. Not only did he earn money, but he could also find his own chef. Following that, Xiao Changtian was also arranged by Han Feng to stay in the Han family compound. At the same time, in a pavilion, Hellfire sat at the top of the private room, and on both sides of the room were a few tables. On the table, there were various dishes and wine. and there were elders dressed in flame robes sitting on it. The people present were all elders of the Hell sect, just like the Hellfire. Those who could enter the gate of Hell were either master chefs or gourmets. Moreover, there were geisha who came from various forces as tribute. In the middle of the private room, a geisha was dancing, attracting the attention of most of the audience. At this moment Hellfire, who was sitting at the head of the table, said slowly, "Everyone, the Hell sect is holding the God of Cookery competition this time to envelop talents. Everyone here is a core member of our Hell sect, and hopes to build the glory of the Hell sect with me." When the elders of the Hell sect heard the Hellfire's words, they raised their wine cups and toasted the Hellfire. Hellfire replied. At this time he also slowly said to Sanji, "Sanji, who are the participants this time?" When Sanji heard Xiao Changshan's words, he also began to recite in the private room. "Mo family Mo Xian. Han family Xiao Changtian." Hearing the voices, Hellfire said to the various elders below, "Everyone go and prepare. I hope that this God of Cookery competition will be more glorious than the previous ones." As soon as he finished speaking, the various elders began to prepare. After the elders left, Hellfire slowly said to Sanji, "Sanji, did the person you mentioned participate?" When Sanji heard Hellfire's words, he said to Hellfire in fear, "Sir, that person's strength shouldn't be low." Hearing Sanji's words, Hellfire sighed. "Forget it. Whether we have fate or not will depend on this God of Cookery competition. Keep an eye on the God of Cookery competition." As Hellfire finished speaking, Sanji quickly went down to handle it. At this moment, in a square of the God of Cookery competition, the Master Chef competition was a grand event in Hell Town, and the square was already surrounded by a lot of spectators. Who do you think will win the God of Cookery competition this time? Yes, I think Mo Xian of the Mo family has a high chance of winning this time. It's said that he's already been accepted as a disciple by the fourth elder of the Underworld sect. Yes, I think he is. At this moment, the audience started whispering. Every chef god competition would be accompanied by the rise and fall of a force. This concerned the power they would rely on in the future. Therefore, the discussion was very intense. It looks like the Mo family is about to rise. It looks like he won't be able to persist for long. At this moment, some cultivators began to feel sorry for the Han family. At this time, the cultivators who came to participate in the God of Cookery meet also entered the venue one after another. Then a cultivator pointed in a direction above the square. "Look, the Mo family is here." Upon hearing this cultivator's words, the other cultivators also looked in the direction of the Mo family. At this moment, Mo Xian also walked into the venue with his head held high. Mo Xian scanned his surroundings, but did not find any traces of the Han family. He had thought that the Han family would come. In that case, he would wait until he won the championship of this branch. At that time, he would settle the score with the Han family. Thinking back to the Han family's appearance in front of Han Yu, Mo Xian felt a wave of shame. As Mo Xian sat in his seat, Han Feng, Xiao Yan, and the others slowly appeared in front of everyone. Chapter 548:1 will deal with those people. 1. Utted by Bexenville. Siam Saint Spirit Sky, the square of the branch of the God of Cookery meeting. When the people around the square saw Han Feng bringing Xiao Changtian and the others over, they began to whisper among themselves. "Look, the Han family is also here. I thought the Han family had given up. This way there's something to see." As a first-class family in the small town, how can the Han family be willing to compare to the Mo family? I wonder who the Han family will send. At this moment, everyone present was also watching from the Han family's team. The people inside did not see a famous chef. At this moment, Mo Xian also saw the group of people from the Han family. Mo Xian's expression turned cold when he saw Han Yu and Xiao Changtian standing together. Then he slowly walked towards Xiao Changtian. "Uncle Han, your Han family is participating in the God of Cookery competition this time. Who will you send? Could it be this brother?" As he spoke, Mo Xian suddenly had a sense of arrogance as he looked at Xiao Changtian with a smile. Although Xiao Changtian was very strong, cooking was the most important thing in Hell Town. Xian also wanted to suppress Xiao Changtian here, so that he could regain some of his dignity. Xiao Changtian heard Xian's words and said slowly, "Young Master really has good eyesight, even seeing that I want to participate." "That's right, young Master Have you recovered from your head injury?" As he spoke, Xiao Changtian also looked towards Xian's head. There was a white sticker on his head. It seemed that he had been treated. When Xian heard Xiao Changshan's words, his expression changed. This person looked young. In terms of cultivation, even the elders in the family could not compare to him. Then his culinary skills wouldn't be that good. After all, a person's energy was limited. How could this person have such deep attainments in two different fields? The Han family had probably bet on the wrong treasure this time. With this thought in mind, Xian said coldly to Xiao Changtian, "Then I'm really looking forward to this brother's performance." Hearing this, Xiao Changtian smiled. At this moment, an old man slowly walked out from the square. When the old man appeared, he also said, "This branch's general meeting will be led by this old man. All competitors, please draw lots and enter your own rooms to participate." As he spoke, the old man waved his hand, and the ground around the square shook. The tightly shut doors of the rooms appeared before everyone's eyes. At the center of the square, a huge disc appeared. There was a huge needle, and a series of numbers on the disc. From the looks of it, whenever the needle pointed to a number, they would go to the corresponding room to cook. At this moment, Xiao Changtian sighed when he saw the old man's handiwork. It seemed that this small town really advocated good food, and invited immortal cultivators to host the competition. Then, the contestants walked to the center of the square, and placed their hands on the round plate. The needle on the disc spun, and finally walked into his corresponding room. At this moment, Xiao Changtian slowly walked to the front of the round plate. Looking at the round plate, Xiao Changtian pressed it down with one hand. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The needle on the disc started to spin rapidly, and finally stopped at the number 5. Room 5, Xiao Changtian. As the old man's voice rang out, Xiao Changtian slowly walked towards his room. After Xian heard Xiao Changshan's room number, he let out a cold laugh. He looked at his room number 3. Although the props and ingredients in different rooms were the same, cooking emphasized on absorbing the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. If they could not absorb the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, they would be no different from ordinary people's food. The closer the rooms were to each other, the greater the competition for the spiritual energy between heaven and earth. After all, there was only so much spiritual energy in the world. The more spiritual energy one obtained during the competition, the more spiritual energy would be in the food. Soon, Xiao Changtian and the other contestants also entered their own rooms. There was a mirror above each room. What was reflected in the mirror was the situation of each player inside. At this moment in the mirror, every contestant was using their own spiritual energy to create one's own flame in a room. Cooking skills had high requirements for flames. After Xian entered the room, his hand gestures changed. A dark green flame appeared out of thin air. Then, he slapped the table in front of him. With a bang, the ingredients on the table flew into the air. His true essence covered his palm and waved in the air. He processed the ingredients, and the ingredients floated above his flames. Outside the arena, the cultivators looked at Xian and cheered. Although every contestant had their own methods, it seemed that Xian was still better. At this moment, a cultivator saw Xiao Changtian in the room. He slowly said to everyone, "Look, that contestant from the Han family, what is he doing?" Hearing this, the other cultivators all looked at Xiao Changshan's room. Wow! He can't be learning how to cook from mortals, right? At this moment, someone exclaimed. At this moment, Xiao Changtian was looking at the ingredients in the room. He was also complaining in his heart. For this convention, there were all kinds of ingredients prepared, but there was not even a decent piece of firewood. Then, Xiao Changtian looked around the room, looking at the debris in front of him. After throwing them into the furnace, he muttered, "This should be barely enough." Then, Xiao Changtian took out a few matches from his interspatial ring. That's true. The cultivators of the Han family are too funny. Even if the Han family wants to compete with the Mo family, they should at least find a decent chef. The cultivators who supported the Mo clan also began to mock the Han clan. Han Feng heard the voices around him, but did not respond. Looking at Xiao Changshan's behavior, he couldn't understand. At this moment, Lin Ruomio's voice sounded in Han Feng's ears. Master is only cultivating his heart in the mortal world, and is unwilling to use spells. I will handle those people. If others looked down on her, she wouldn't care. But since it involved Xiao Changtian, Lin Ruomiao wouldn't let them go over like this. When Han Feng suddenly heard Lin Ruomio's voice, he shuddered. He could clearly sense a murderous aura from Lin Ruomio's words just now. At this moment, Han Feng looked at Lin Ruomiao with a sense of fear for some reason. Chapter 549. He's fighting for spiritual energy with Utib by Bexenville. CM everyone present on his own one Saint Spirit sky, the square of the branch of the god of cookery meeting. Han Feng looked at Lin Ruomiao beside him, and nodded at her. Then Lin Ruomio's figure disappeared from his sight. At the same time, the competition in the square was also going on like tea and fire. The rules of the competition were always the same. That was in the room. No matter how you used the props and ingredients inside. As long as you could cook a dish, and obtain the recognition of the Hell Sect, you could win. This was also the most important moment of the entire dish. At this stage of cooking, one needed to absorb the air between heaven and earth into the dishes they made. The quality of ordinary dishes also depended on the amount of spiritual energy in the dishes. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The various competitors were also constantly fighting for the spiritual energy between heaven and earth. Meanwhile, Mo Xian was in his room, watching the spiritual qi between heaven and earth continuously gather towards his dishes. His face was also filled with smiles. Just as he had expected, that Han kid was completely clueless about cooking. At the very least, it could not be compared to his own. Most of the spiritual energy in this world was running towards him. One could imagine how much spiritual energy was contained in the dishes of that Han family's kid. Because of Xiao Changshan's unique cooking method, he also received a lot of attention. At this moment, those cultivators looked at Xiao Changtian with disappointment. In the beginning, some people thought that Xiao Changtian was just playing around. Who knew what kind of surprise he would get later on? He didn't expect that Xiao Changtian would only put his ingredients into the pot, when everyone else was absorbing the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. At this moment, Xiao Changtian was in his room, looking at the ingredients in his pot. His face was also filled with satisfaction. After working for a while, he could finally rest. Now, he only needed to wait for the pot to be cooked. With that thought in mind, Xiao Changtian also picked up a pot lid from the side. After covering it, he also took a nap on a chair at the side. Sigh. I think this person has completely given up. He's really a good for nothing. A cultivator saw Xiao Changtian resting on a chair and mocked him. It seems so. The Han family's face has been completely ruined by him. How do you think the Han family will? Where is he? This cultivator was about to say something to the cultivators beside him. He realized that there was no one around him. Han Feng was currently in the crowd. He had been silently observing the changes in the crowd, completely ignoring the words of those people. He was also surprised to find that the cultivators who mocked Xiao Changtian disappeared every once in a while. The cultivators of the underworld sect did not notice any of this. Thinking of this, Han Feng broke out in cold sweat. He didn't need to think to understand that these people were all done by Lin Ruomiao. To be able to kill people under the nose of the Hell Sect cultivators, without anyone knowing. This ability was probably at least at the level of a golden immortal. And this was only Xiao Changshan's disciple, Xiao Changtian himself. Perhaps he was also a celestial king like the Hellfire. Thinking of an immortal king in his Han family, Han Feng was surprised and happy. As the cultivators who supported the Mo family disappeared, the Mo family began to sense that something was wrong. A Mo family cultivator slowly walked up to the head of the Mo family and whispered into his ear. Patriarch, I don't know what happened. A few of our people suddenly disappeared. Disappeared? In a pavilion beside the square, The head of the Mo family was also stunned when he heard his disciples report. Instinctively, he looked in Han Feng's direction. Seeing Han Feng's figure in the crowd, he slowly said to the disciples beside him, "Pass down the order to take it easy. If someone tries to play tricks, you know what to do." When the disciple heard the words of the head of the Mo family, he immediately went down to carry out the order. The head of the Mo family looked down at Han Feng, and no one knew what he was thinking. Han Feng's strength was about the same as his. If he made a move, it was impossible for him not to notice it. At this moment, a cry of surprise caught everyone's attention. Look, the spiritual energy between heaven and earth. At this moment, everyone in the square sensed that the spiritual energy between heaven and earth was gathering in one place. That place seemed to be Xiao Changshan's room. What was going on? When the people around the square noticed the change in the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, Mo Xian, who was in the room, naturally sensed that something was wrong. At this moment, the spiritual energy flowing into his room was rapidly decreasing. No! At this moment, Mo Xian suddenly shouted. He was surprised to find that the spiritual energy in his room was not only decreasing. Moreover, the spiritual energy that he had already absorbed in his dishes also had a tendency to fly out. Mo Xian wasn't the only one who noticed this. The other contestants in their own rooms also discovered the same situation with their dishes. The cultivators present looked at the situation in each room. He couldn't understand why the spiritual energy of heaven and earth would go to Xiao Changshan's room. Xiao Changtian didn't do anything. It was just resting on the chair. Even the old man from the Hell sect, who was presiding over the square, felt the change in the spiritual energy between heaven and earth. He couldn't help but look at Xiao Changshan's room. The cultivators in the other rooms seemed to be unable to stop the loss of their spiritual energy, no matter what they did. Not to mention fighting for the spiritual energy of others. Some people gave up because the situation today was too strange. Something must have happened outside. Han Feng watched as the spiritual qi between heaven and earth gathered in Xiao Changshan's room. Even though he knew Xiao Changtian was powerful before he came, he still couldn't help but be shocked. Senior, this is using his own strength to compete for spiritual energy with everyone present. Moreover, it looked like it was effortless. At this moment, Xiao Changshan's position in Han Feng's heart rose several levels. At the same time, Lin Ruomio's figure once again appeared beside Han Feng. Looking at the scene in Xiao Changshan's room, a beautiful smile appeared on her face. Han Feng sensed Lin Ruomio's arrival and smiled at him. "Senior, you're back." Lin Ruomiao didn't say anything when she heard Han Feng's words. Xiao Changtian, who was in the room, slowly stood up from his chair. After stretching his back, he walked towards his own pot. At this moment she should be fine. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.